to the bottom shelf. After long awaited, we've been hard at work, not
That's
playing
the word
Ocarina of
for it.
Time.
We slept for 7 years and woke up to do the podcast.
Yeah, because we decided that the perfect time to play Ocarina of Time is when they release a new Zelda game, so everyone would not be busy with that. And
I think-
people have moved houses, people have had air stuff.
Today on Eric's medical issues, let's discuss his
Yeah.
ear gunk.
Thank you. I'm Erik, as aforementioned, and with me today is my trio of good friends. The friend of wisdom, Kyle.
Hi, my ears work just fine. Thank you for asking.
The friend of power, Johan.
Power.
He's not wisdom, that's for damn sure.
True.
and the friend of courage, Craig.
That's not what I would have picked, but go on.
I decided to do that bit on the last second there, so I was like, okay,
Friend of snark.
So who are we calling the idiots? Those two.
So anyway, yeah, as we mentioned, today we're going to talk about Ocarina of Time, maybe considered a recipient of many not only Game of the Year awards, but greatest game of all time awards from various publications.
No pressure.
One of
there,
the regulars of the high Metacritic scores.
Yeah, we're not allowed to not like it.
The
Yeah.
highest Metacritic score at 99. Everyone loved this when this was released on the N64 in 1998.
Wait,
The whole franchise has high scores, to be fair. Breath of the Wild's got 97, Wind Waker 96,
wait,
Twilight
is it
Princess
still at
96.
is it still the highest ranked game of all time?
It's the,
Well,
yes,
I don't
it's,
think
On
people
Metacritic, it is the
re-reviewed
highest
the
ranked game of all time.
No, but I
yes.
mean, like, has nothing else come up to 99?
No, it's the only game. Nothing even get 98. Oh wait, there's 98 games. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 is 98.
What's Metal Gear Solid
And,
3?
Well,
Yes,
we
and
could have played
also-
Tony Hawk. No.
And also GTA 4 and Soul Calibur.
How is Soul Calibur so high?
People loved Soul Calibur when it was released on the recast, because I guess it got so high because it was the first true arcade perfect port.
Is it the best
So-
fighting game of all time?
I mean, it's probably fun. Anyway,
That's for another
Soul
discussion.
Soul
I'm guessing
Calibur
for a
2,
different time.
it's alright.
And next to jack shit about fighting games.
Speak the leg and uppercut. That's how I do these things.
Yeah. Before we get into Ocarina of Time, let's chat a bit with our stance on Zelda as a franchise. I grew up with the Nintendo, so I played the original Legend of Zelda back in the day. Ocarina of Time was I think I got this for Christmas back in '98. Very soon after it was released. It was released like pretty soon after each other, both November, December in Japan, America, EU.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty good synergy with releases. And then I played a lot of other Zelda games over the years, both handheld, main games. How do you feel, Craig? You're a PlayStation guy. Have you touched
Yeah, I
any
was.
Zelda,
So
Zelda
least-
before?
at least up until most of my adult life, I never played anything as a child because I always had PlayStation. Didn't have the capacity to have multiple consoles, unfortunately. But,
Yeah.
Aw.
But in the more recent, they're diddums. But in
I
more,
want 3 game consoles, Dad.
so it's been a bit of a gaming black spot, if you will, where I've just never really played much of the Nintendo stuff until now, really.
You did
What
not
a time to do it.
You didn't know about the
I think
green
it was
man.
but I had the handheld stuff because that's all they did. And
I
there
thought the green guy was Zelda the entire time.
Which one, Craig? Did you have like Oracle of Ages or
no,
Seasons?
I just mean Nintendo. I didn't buy any of the Zelda
yeah.
games.
Oh, well.
Oh, really? Wow.
Just never interested me until obviously much later on hearing about how good they are. So I'll give them a
Who
go.
is this green fairy child? I should not touch this game.
With this funny hat.
It was I think the first home console I had was the Wii, but that's because everyone had free Wii's in the country.
Mm.
Yeah, it was like a mandate. You must have a Wii in your house, or you'll be taken to the gulags for a while.
And I was one of those poor suckers that bought the Wii U because I thought, oh, this will be good.
Yay!
Hello,
Join
sir.
There's
me.
two of you here, so it's fine.
Hello, sir. We're from the government. Have you got your Wii in your house?
So a Wii U, does that count? No.
Before today, I tried playing some of the other ones, but I never, because there's such time commitments. I only got so far, and then I moved on to something else. This is the first
Later
one actually.
ones, earlier
Solo.
ones?
Wind Waker was one I tried on the Wii U.
Oh, you got the
I think
Wii.
I got about a couple of hours into that, and then also Breath of the Wild, which I'm going to come back to in due course.
Yeah, sure. There's probably gonna be some discussion on the latest
Yes.
Zelda
Yeah.
franchise.
Oh yes.
Kyle, you have actually played Tears of the Kingdom.
I have the most kind of recent experience of the Zelda franchise, and before
Yeah.
I had my Switch, I had a bit of another black spot with Zelda. I played Link to the Past quite a bit, way back in the day, so I enjoyed that. I never had any real kind of drive to play the other games. Again, I was a PlayStation lad growing up, so I didn't get to play any of the N64 games or the GameCube games. I didn't have a Wii for myself. I had a family Wii, so I couldn't play any of those games. It wasn't until the Switch came out that I actually made the decision to go and buy Breath of the Wild. And I put in maybe 120 plus hours into that game, and I loved the hell out of it.
Yeah, it's
So
quite something.
I got Tears of the Kingdom at launch, and within a month I had 190 plus hours clocked into it. It was funny, we chose to play this game when I was already halfway through my Tears of the Kingdom addiction at that point. So trying to juggle a modern Zelda game with a game that came out 25 years prior to that was mega jarring for me. So I'm going to try and disconnect my Tears of the Kingdom experience from my Ocarina of Time experience and try not to say, oh, well, in this game I could do this, so this game
Yeah,
obviously
There's
works by
a
default.
void. This is going to be a repeat of the Banjo-Kazooie episode.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause-
Tears of the Kingdom is very much unlike the old Zeldas in many ways, as I've gathered.
They seem to have, going back to it, you can tell, there's a lot of things that you can tell where the blueprints and stuff came from the future Zelda games, from the modern generation, but a lot of it's far more kind of, sorry, go ahead.
No, what was the Wii U one called? Isn't it more based on that one?
There was Breath of the Wild on the
But
Wii U.
it was on the Switch as well.
Yeah.
It was like
Well, like the Wii U was the first version, then they decided to make it for the Switch instead and have like a downgraded version on the Wii U.
The one with the birds.
birds.
Skyward Sword. I was thinking of
That was
one.
the original.
That was a Wii
was
game.
the original Wii.
Was
Yeah.
it original? I thought it was Wii U.
There's also a Switch port of that game as well, if you're curious.
Because the thing about the Wii U was that it didn't have a proper own Zelda game for a long time until Breath of the Wild.
The strange kind of black spot to have for a
yeah.
franchise. So yeah, I have a massive gap in my Zelda catalog from Link to the Past, which was 1991, I think, to Breath of the Wild from 2018. So it's
That basically the entire franchise at that point.
basically I've only seen the beginning and the end of it. So yeah, well, not the end, the present of it, I should say. So yeah, it's a bit quite fun. Well, going back and seeing kind of the little kind of how it got built into this massive franchise that it would become after Ocarina of Time. So it's fun to see the sort of the foundations of the 3D Zelda games. So yeah.
And Johan, you have a mountain of games. Surely you must have picked up a Zelda.
Surely you must
along the
have
way.
this green man somewhere in your collection.
Yeah, you probably have like a collector's edition with like a
You'll have
statue or
Twilight Princess and
Signed by Miyamoto himself.
approved box somewhere that you won't touch because its resale value will go through the roof or something like that.
I don't have any collectors. In the 90s, I played Link to the Past, but I didn't finish it up until a year ago, or something like that.
Oh wow, okay.
It's a long playthrough.
What?
That took it that long.
This was the same day to survive that.
It's a completionist run.
Because I had the Super Nintendo, but then I also had I played it on the Game Boy when it was re-released on the Game Boy Advance, and now I played it on the Switch.
Yeah.
What did I play it on the? Yeah, anyway, then when Oracle of Seasons came out, I played that, but never finished that. I also had Link's Awakening, but I never finished. I played them, I never finished them.
Zelda games are a bit of a commitment. Is it? Not just
Yeah.
I
in
played
and
Link's
done.
Awakening recently on the Game Boy thing on the Switch for a little bit. I know there's also a remake on the Switch as well, I believe, that came out last year, year before, with little kind of cutesy graphics.
2019, I think.
I think it was
2019. God.
Was it Link's Awakening that had color? It was a black cartridge. I think it was. Also
so.
played a bit of Wind Waker when it came out, and as well as the Wii one.
Skyward Sword.
No, the Wii. The original.
No,
GameCube technically.
Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess.
Oh yeah, that was like on the GameCube. It was one of those
originally on the GameCube.
That was the adult one. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
Edgy Zelda.
He turns into a wolf.
I'm a furry now.
Yeah, so that would be the newest one I played then, isn't it? Yeah,
Really?
Twilight Princess.
Oh, you haven't actually played Breath of the Wild then?
No, I'm gonna, because of the moving and all other extra stuff, I'm gonna buy both of those as soon as possible.
Breath of the Wild came out 4 years ago. You haven't been moving for 4 years. You just chose not to get it. It's one of the biggest
I
Switch's
chose to
selling
play
points.
it as I was going to move.
I got the Switch like a year ago. Was it I got the LED one, LED.
What did you get with your Switch when you first got it if it wasn't Breath of the Wild? That's like one of the bundle games they always give away with these things, because it's like one of the most iconic games on the platform. That and Mario Odyssey.
Mario, I don't have that one. I need to get that as well.
You haven't got Mario Odyssey either.
I don't remember what mine came with.
Mine didn't come with.
It wasn't Zelda.
Mine didn't come with anything. It was just the LED, like the.
What did you first buy for it? Then?
Super Mario 3D World. That was the reason. That was the reason I wanted the Switch, because of Super Mario.
That was the reason.
What, to play a Wii U game?
Yeah.
But you've got a Wii U.
No, I don't.
Oh no, created the Wii U. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, well, I haven't got it anymore. I sold it.
Hang on, you have every single console known to man in your fucking apartment.
Yeah, the Wii U is on the list. It's gonna be
I've
gone.
got a Digiblast, but I haven't got a Wii U.
Yeah,
It's going to be a lost media at some point, Johan. You better get one.
Yeah, I need to get one. I also need to get a Virtual Boy.
Just because you really want to play Wario VR.
Was there a Virtual Boy Zelda game? Oh, I'm thinking of Wario. No, never.
Yeah, there was a Wario. There was no
wasn't
Zelda.
Missed opportunity.
But yeah, played a couple of the Game Boy ones. Played a couple of the other ones. Yeah, so a little bit of.
So
we're quite scattered then. Yeah, you're the only person to play it before.
Eric's the only one that actually played this 99 critically acclaimed best game in the world.
Hence why you're being our N64 Sherpa today, guiding us through the rough terrain.
And rough terrain.
I just assumed Johan would have played it because they played all.
I played this one a couple of years back. I have the cartridge. I got the last temple on the cartridge. So I have played this one before, but just a couple of years ago.
You didn't finish the fight.
No. And I couldn't be bothered finding the cartridge now, so I just played it on the Switch.
Yeah.
That's
before we get to what we played this on, maybe let's talk a little bit about the development of Ocarina of Time. Because this one has sort of an interesting development, because it was developed in conjunction with Super Mario 64, and they wanted to release it like the year after, in 97, Super Mario 64 on the 64DD, which was the add-on for the Nintendo 64 with the disc format. But
Critical sensation, the 64DD.
I never.
Yeah.
It was only in Japan, wasn't it?
Did you need? It was a cartridge they put in. It was a disc cartridge, but did you need as well a normal cartridge for that? Like, did you need to have dual? I've never seen.
I don't think it required a cartridge and a disc. I think it was only the disc that you needed.
Like the Sega CD, where it was like a separate unit basically, but you had to connect it to the original console.
Yeah, well, you get those 32X CD. You get them both at the same time that plugged in, so you can do like a console with a CD and a cartridge.
But most companies would not do that because it's stupid.
It's expensive to make and ruinously stupid to do. So yeah.
The development of that version sort of tapered off because they couldn't get it to run properly because of the DD wasn't very good system. And by the time. And that was further delays because Miyamoto was busy working on Yoshi's Story at the point.
What a lad.
Priority Street.
And then they released it like late '98, which it's a bit
I mean, if it was in development at the
This
same
is
time
our
as
third
Mario
game
64,
from 1998 we've played so far. We played Metal Gear Solid from 1998 and Banjo-Kazooie from 1998 as
Yeah.
well. So
we-
one of
we
the
should-
great years.
We
We've
need to
got a
play.
year.
We need to play Half-Life, I think, as well as '98.
Yeah,
Need
halfway one
to.
of them. And Sonic Adventure, which we aren't touching. How you
Now,
draw a line
now
there?
you've said that, I mean, it'll be a future episode.
I got a fun fact about this, about how this game sold. So this game was the best-selling game of 1998 in the US. It came out in November.
Yeah, that really, because they planned it perfectly for like the holiday release. Because everyone was anticipating
All
this
that
game.
late 90s disposable income.
Yeah, it sold 2.5 million copies in 2 months, which is, even for now, that's kind of impressive.
How long, does anyone have any info? How long was it between this one and, was it Link to the Past? Was that the latest one between that?
No, I mean, Link's Awakening was between that, if you count that.
If you count them,
the Game
I
Boy
mean,
one. Yeah.
technically they count. I mean, it's not even then. They're talking about a good kind of
It was-
7-year
5
gap,
years, I would
6-year
say.
gap.
The
Yeah,
next
something
main
like that.
one was Wind Waker, wasn't it?
After
Oh, Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Came out like a year after Ocarina, I believe.
Yeah,
The
but you use-
18-month development.
Yeah, same assets and everything.
I always
Same
forget about
engine, so
Majora's
yeah.
Mask.
So, yeah, they were planning on making like a sort of expansion for the 64DD after release. That's called Ura Zelda. But that when the 64DD sort of failed, they scratched that and released that later on the GameCube as the, what do you call it, Master
Oh,
Quest?
Master Quest.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have that lying somewhere.
Practically the same
I
game,
as well.
but harder with additional dungeons that are equally as hard as the one.
I
Yeah.
have played through that. It's quite something.
Not recommended.
Ooh.
Did you enjoy playing this?
We'll get to that, I guess.
Won't
Spoilers.
Spoil it.
Yeah, I might give that a miss.
Well, speaking of the way we played it, so I am one of those people that have my old consoles just laying about, so I just plugged in the N64 and started playing there.
I think that's the
get
way to play
you
it.
guys.
Yeah,
played on
so
Switch.
yeah, I had it on the Switch online, so I had to handle the
Thank
Switch's
you, Nintendo,
funky
for the
control
Switch.
allocation. The problem with the N64 is that you can't really emulate it on anything apart from an N64 because of the way that the control scheme
Well,
works.
yeah, unless you
really-
have some kind of N64 controller you can plug in.
Yeah, on like a non-native controller, you have to make some sort of compromise to make it
Yeah.
at least palatable. But I managed to get used to it eventually. But the first like hour or so, it was rough trying to get used to the buttons being a bit weird.
We've a friend has a Steam Deck and he put some N64 emulator on that. We played with
What? Illegal!
No.
That's the game.
No, I dumped the games myself, I think.
I burnt the ROM that I already owned to a file.
No,
Yeah.
but we played that emulator with normal like 360 or like Xbox One controllers. Fine,
For
but
some reason, with the Switch, you can't rebind the default control layout for N64 games. I don't know why they don't let you do that for. Because why wouldn't you? If you've got an emulator, let you rebind the controls. I'm pretty sure the other emulators let you rebind the controls.
yeah.
Nintendo behind the times.
Because the way this game controls is that you had to use the C buttons quite frequently, and you kind of had to use the stick on the Switch.
That's-
Or you can
that's
hold down
basically
like
what
the
the-
shoulder button and then use the up, down,
yeah,
left, right there. But that
No.
involves multiple button presses.
And you can work with that, but in some situations, like often when I also tried out the Switch version for a bit. Actually, I'm going to talk about the way I play through these games. So I started on the N64 and I finished it, and these chuckleheads had barely even started the game by the time I finished.
I was
So I
busy
decided to
playing
play-
Zelda to play Zelda. I'm sorry.
So I decided to play the game again on the GameCube.
Christ.
And also to spice things up, I also played it through in German.
Because you have a German
So,
copy
to
on the
brush up
GameCube.
on your German, yeah.
Did you play it in every single way that you could do, just to show off?
Then I beat that. So then I started playing the Switch version for a bit. I didn't beat that, but then when playing the Switch version, gave myself the challenge of I'll never pick up any heart containers.
Interesting.
The last I left off, I finished the first temple on 3 hearts. So
Okay, so how did you find the N64, the Switch's kind of control scheme with the N64?
okay, so like version differences. the graphics first and foremost. Those blocks should not be that high res. You can see the seams not connecting.
Yeah, it's when you go into Hyrule Castle and you actually look at all the pre-rendered backgrounds, and it's like, oof. Oh, this shouldn't be upscaled. This looks bad.
That's a common occurrence I find playing like old PlayStation on, and that era of games like emulated. It just looks like all the polygons are glued
fuzzy
together.
CRT screen to make it kind of mask all the imperfections. But when it's on like a crystal clear LCD LED screen with like upscaling and stuff, you notice these things quite a bit. So
it was only halfway through playing the game that I remembered that because I played it on the 3DS.
Yeah,
I think that might have been that they did remake the game.
That would be a different experience. That's not a remake. That would be a whole different ballpark, though. It's not really a port. It's more like an enhanced remake or remaster. Right?
Yeah,
it's not really in the same spirit.
I looked at gameplay, and from at least from that, it was the actual the way what you do in the game is the same. It's just there's a lot of quality of life improvements, particularly with the controls, which I think would have maybe alleviated many of our main complaints, as we'll find out.
Maybe can you aim with the gyro?
Yes, you can actually.
You can actually, from what I've heard, yeah.
Which,
we'll
get on to the aiming late.
When you're going into a game that's kind of revered as being the greatest of all time, you go into it for the first time after 25 years, you get a little bit nervy as to what you might make of it, because it's hard to have like low expectations when you hear that it's literally the best thing ever made of all time. So it was it's kind of like our Metal Gear Solid playthrough to an extent, where it's kind of like there's so much expectation there that you've got to try and disconnect that and go into it objectively. But it's really hard to do that when you've got such a critically acclaimed masterpiece sitting in front of you.
I've played, obviously growing up, I've played games of that era, and I go back to them. So I'm not going to be completely stupid about complaining about stuff that wasn't a problem or just wasn't thought of at that point in history.
Yeah, it's fair, because I know folks who tend to trumpet about this game always the ones who have played it way back in the day and remember it as it was when it came out, and you've got all the nostalgia being as it is. It does tend to kind of, and also you're playing it as it was meant to be played on an N64 on a CRT when you're 12, so it works better that way. But playing it as a 30-plus-year-old man on a Nintendo Switch in the year 2023. It's I was not looking forward to coming into it and not loving it if that was the case. So I was very nervous about that.
So but to answer your actual question about the controls, so I mean this was made with the N64 controller in mind. So trying to map that onto like a Pro controller and a GameCube controller can be tricky. They actually did some stuff on the GameCube controller because it has extra buttons, so they mapped like all the C buttons also to the Z button and the X and Y button, and so you use the L button instead of the Z to do the shields and such. So that went to targeting. Sorry, and that actually worked pretty well. But I didn't have that luxury with the Switch controller. But there was one thing I actually kind of liked doing when playing on the GameCube and Switch Pro controller is that if I had like a weapon that was a C button weapon that was like a ranged thing, I put it on like C down, so when it feels like I pull back and I use pull the stick down and release to shoot. I was like,
I didn't make the correlation to that before. That's interesting.
That was a very, very fun, like little immersive thing for myself. But
yeah. So apart from that, the 64 is the way to go, essentially.
What was that?
The 64 is the way to go, then. Is that what you're saying? Of all the ones that you played, the 64 is
64 controller, more specifically.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that seems to be the most kind of pure experience.
You can probably get third-party those for like.
Oh yeah, no, you can. That's the kind you buy for the Switch.
If you really want to up your N64 emulation.
Yeah,
the stick obviously has. You've got the grooves on the stick. You've got the 8 degrees of separation on the N64 stick. Because the Switch hasn't got that sort of lock-in-place angle thing.
You have that on the GameCube as well, don't you?
It makes hitting certain button combinations quite delicate because you press right bit, it goes right up because you're a little bit off the right angle, and that can try to play certain songs on the Ocarina and you're getting it wrong, and it's like,
it's the same problem that we had playing on the what's it called, Banjo-Kazooie.
Mr. Kazooie, yes.
On the Switch.
I think it was more bothersome with Banjo than it was this game, because that's more kind of precision platforming that needed to be done. But it was noticeable, but I managed to sort of get used to it after an hour or so. So I managed to kind of play it relatively fine after that.
When I started stressing out in some fights, I actually noticed I was trying to use whatever, and I suddenly went into something I didn't want to go into because of the level. It was like, oh, you're a bit down, so technically you're pressing down now.
Arrow. Oh, you mean bomb? Yes. No.
I had problems with the bombs constantly.
Nah.
We'll get to that as well. So yeah, that's a kind of our prelude, I guess.
Yeah, let's get into the actual game and what the game is about.
The meat and potatoes.
As with every Zelda game, the game starts an unnamed boy that is mostly called Link, but you can name him whatever.
I called him Zelda. Just to confuse
I called him Link, but all caps.
Link.
Oh yeah.
Well, like a Pokemon character.
It's not clear in games whether you should use all caps or not.
Yeah.
Here's my good friend Link. Like a stumped toe version.
So he is a young. He's a part of a tribe called the Kokiri, which is a tribe of forest children, all who has like their own fairy and stuff as companions, but he does not have one for some reason that is explained later. He lives in peace, mostly getting bullied by.
I was gonna say, is that peace?
That little dickhead boy. What's his name? I didn't like him.
Mito.
Yeah, he was a dick.
Yeah. One morning he gets visited by a fairy named Navi, who tells him that the great Deku Tree, the guardian of the Kokiri, wants to see him. You have to do it. This is basically like a tutorial section where you learn like the controls, how to use.
It's tutorial land, yeah.
You have to find the sword. You have to get enough money to buy a shield, and you learn. There's no enemies in this exact part, and when you get the sword and shield, you go to see the Deku Tree, who tells him that there's something in there, and you have to go inside and excise the evil that's within the Great Deku Tree, and that's basically the first dungeon. So it gets right in there.
Yeah, it's sort of like a hand-holdy dungeon just to get used to how Z targeting works and getting used to the camera control and stuff like that, which is a pretty good way of doing it. It doesn't feel like it's like a tutorial, you know, push A to do this and push B to do this. It still feels kind of like organic within the game, but it's giving you a bit of a slow kind of roll into the main point of the game to begin with.
Stakes relatively low before you deep
end. Getting used to how to aim with the first person camera and how to, you know, like all the traps and what not to do and setting off like pressure plates and stuff like that. It does all the work it has to do to sort of show you roughly what the dungeons have going forward. So I think it's really good.
Yeah, and you get the items relatively quickly. You find the slingshot in there. You find the sticks and the nuts that you can do to use to stun enemies.
Oh, I wanted to say, Z targeting, really intuitive, really good.
Oh, really? Because that was one of the main design problems when making this game was how do you do like 3D combat, and I think they found like a very good.
I played a lot of early 3D
games. The kind
games.
Of stuff that you still see in new games as well. It's not...
Yeah, because a lot of early 3D games were just absolutely abysmal to control and look at the camera and hit enemies correctly. I mean, Craig, you were playing Gex 2 over the weekend. We saw that played out. So, you know, compared to that, it's a nice way of actually locking on. You get a nice angle. You can tell your depth perception quite well with the Z locking camera and stuff, and you can get your weapons chosen in the right places. It's far better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
So 10 out of 10.
Also, you get through the tree, and you find the first boss, the Goma, big creepy eye thing. How do you feel about the enemy designs in this game? Because I really enjoy the variety on display for a lot of enemies and bosses.
The first boss was great, actually. It was really well done.
They repeat the eye thing a couple of times, but some of the bosses are really fun.
Not a Zelda aficionado, so I know some of them are recurring enemies that you see in the games generally, but they're all pretty good designs.
I mean, it's a Nintendo game as well, so one boss has to be a pair of giant hands.
Goma was quite easy at the start, but given that it's a tutorial, technically I can sort of live with that, to be honest. Oh, we see our first gold Skulltula also in the dungeon.
Yeah, that's gonna be a thing. that you need to keep an eye out on.
Bit foreshadowing there, but you see your first one in there, and then collectibles, great. Yeah,
there's also a gold skull tool that's hidden away in like a room behind like a bombable wall. So they introduced early that there are some dungeons that you had to, if you want to go for 100%, you had to go back to old dungeons in order to get it. Because
I love backtracking.
I don't like that mechanic of having to go if you want to go for 100%.
Given that you can teleport back and forward with the Ocarina, it's not a major issue.
I don't mind it when it's
go back and forward. You know,
I don't mind it when it's optional.
Because given the rewards that you get for doing it they're not really monumental, the rewards that you get for getting the skill tools. They aren't like game-changing powers that you get or things that you need to do to progress. So being optional, I'm fine with that.
With backtracking, can I say I'm jumping a little bit, but you know when the song to get to the Temple of Time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was the Song of Time and nothing happened, so the rest of the game, maybe you can't go back to it. So I started walking every time. Then at basically the end, it was like, it's that song that
the bottom songs are warp songs.
Yeah, Prelude of Light. So basically the entire game, every time I need to get to the Temple of Time, I walk there, wherever I was.
That's got to add a bit of our
the immersiveness.
Yeah.
I've taken Hyrule Field in all of its glory a bit more. What more can you ask for?
So yeah, you beat Goma, but it's all for naught as the ticket tree dies anyway. Poor guy. For some reason, I started reading his dialogue in Matt Berry's voice at some point. I was like,
I'm the great Deku Tree.
I'm the great Deku Tree.
I'm dying, Link.
Here, have my rock.
But what were you reading in German?
Actually, it was really funny in German. I noticed that they use a lot of English loanwords. There was one point that when Saria, your courier friend, sees you have a fairy finally, she says,
Guten Tag.
That is cool.
Oh yeah. Das ist ein Fairy.
Guten Dorf.
Also, yeah, they all the bosses have like a sub, like a title basically, and that's also translated in German.
Angry Man from Salzburg.
That's spooky as fuck.
So yeah, you get you're basically told to go find Princess Zelda to leave the forest, and you have a little meeting with Sarah, who I mentioned, who basically established as your childhood friend that you know how to walk away from.
Was that in the Lost Woods that you do that part?
No.
I mean, you can go to the Lost Woods right away, but
I have thoughts about Lost Woods. I want to talk about it at some point, so we'll get to that.
I'll get to that, but that actually becomes pertinent.
Opinions on that.
Sarah gives you her ocarina, which is one of the major themes of the game is music and using an ocarina
it's in the title,
to play songs of
other people,
certain powers. Yeah,
it's like Wii music.
Did anyone know what the hell an ocarina was before playing this game?
No.
I knew of an ocarina before. I've seen it like in the kind of as a concept. I don't know how it actually works. It's like a glorified like a 3D flute almost.
Yeah, but as a public a concept for the public. If anyone really
I've never seen one in the wild before.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
I've only seen like the replica ones you can buy. Of the
blue one, from the actual game itself.
None of those popular boy or girl bands ever use them. It's unbelievable.
Backstreet Boys.
There's no rock and roll ocarina players. Yeah.
No.
I want to see Elton John come out with an ocarina.
Ocarina solo.
You can actually just if you hold like the L button and use a control stick while playing the notes on the ocarina, you can actually pitch shift the notes.
You can play a Megalovania.
It's like an ocarina whammy bar.
I bet you can find a lot of videos online of people playing all sorts of songs.
Was there any
I'd hear like Freebird on Ocarina, that'd be great.
Was there any other like that had this mechanic of the I mean Wind Waker had the where you play with the
Yeah, the baton.
Baton
yeah.
things to get like the sounds and it. But is there any other Zelda game that has like
I mean,
this?
Majora's Mask.
Ocarina. But is there any other Zelda game?
Nintendo loves their
Of the
music.
3 that I've played, no.
I don't
I
remember any.
can't recall anything.
I don't think it's in Breath of the Wild.
No, I don't think that has any, as far as I'm aware, Breath of the Wild. I don't think it has any sort of like mechanics like that.
I think that
That
they replaced it
flutes.
with all that amiibo shit you can do.
The
yeah.
flutes with durability. You play too many
It like
notes
snaps in your
breaks.
hands and detonates.
So anyway, you
It
go
just
to...
turns into one of those school recorders you played as a kid.
That's a kazoo after that, isn't it?
So after you leave the forest, the game basically opens up, and this is basically like the...
Hyrule Field.
This is the format going forward, is that you have many options to go to, but you have a set goal.
Technically an open world
It's
game.
open world, kinda, where like, you can
Yeah.
explore places, but you can't do anything really in those places when you get there, and then until the plot makes you do it for plot
Yeah.
reasons. So it's not Skyrim, you know.
No.
But it's still pretty cool.
Going
though.
from like Breath of the Wild to this, like going from that kind of world to you have like a big field and then some areas connected to it.
Yeah, I don't want to mention during my Tears of the Kingdom run, going back to Hyrule Field, I was like, this feels fucking tiny.
It's so tiny.
There's nothing in the field, really. There's not really... It's a
They
hub
wouldn't- they
world,
wouldn't- I mean,
essentially.
it wouldn't have.
Oh, there's one thing in the field. There's a big fucking owl who wants to talk to you.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's the owl. Yeah, alright.
Does he have a name? I don't remember his name.
I didn't talk to him long enough to remember it. Sorry.
Like, he appears
it's
like
not
3
stated
times
in
in
the
the
game.
entire game and doesn't actually do much.
He has an actual name. It's Gapura Gabura, but that's only revealed in like side material.
Is there any point that they haven't
He
been...
shows
they
up
haven't
so
been while
often,
he's
yeah,
there?
just so inconsequential.
Well, he vanishes
He-
for a large chunk of the game, then comes back near
Yeah.
the end.
Yeah. It makes grand.
Well,
turn-
mate, you become
I
adult
wonder if,
like
they
at that
had
point, to be
grander
fair,
ideas
so-
for him, but then just change that. Nah, fuck it.
Yeah.
No, I
He-
won't.
and he also occasionally helps you skipping some backtracking if you talk to him at certain places.
Yeah, he can fly you down the mountain.
I mean, that's Navi's job to do where you go. I mean, I have to make you go down. Oh, yeah, like the Death Mountain later on. Yeah, fair enough.
I'm wondering if...
So
I was going to say, I'm wondering that Craig said like they had actually loads of material, but then Miyamoto showed up, I hate owls.
Oh, they ran out of like cartridge data.
Yeah.
It would have been possible on the DD. Sorry.
My vision ruined.
so anyway, you go to Hyrule Castle and...
Oh, before we get there, I realized the game has day and night cycles. I didn't know that before this point.
Oh, you didn't?
I got to the front door of the castle and it became night and the gates went back up.
I
had to sit
did-
and wait
I
for
did
10 minutes.
exact-
That is perfectly timed for you to the day to just go.
I had to just waste 2
Fuck
minutes just
you.
waiting for it to become daylight again.
That one guard at the bridge, see a little child walking. Nah, fuck it. No, it's too late.
Yeah.
Lower
The castle's closed.
Raise the gates.
I did exactly the same thing. I forgot that there was a day-night cycle. I was like, oh, it's getting dark now. Wait a minute. And then like I walked just and
I
it
didn't
went
think they
up.
closed the gates at night. That caught me off guard. I was like, what the fuck? I'm stuck here fighting these monsters, you animals. Leave a child to die in the field. Okay, cool. That's fine. Cock-a-doodle-doo came around. I got back in the castle. Then we go carry on from there.
Yeah, there's this like city square. This game does a thing where a lot of the backgrounds are like pre-rendered in certain areas, and you basically just control the link around in like a static image, like kind of like a Resident Evil in a way.
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
Final
was it?
Fantasy 7
Yeah.
through 9 do the same
Yeah.
thing. To a better extent, though. It looks far less
Yeah.
jarring in those games.
Eric,
But this looks flat.
When you
No,
said
we don't have time.
town square, the music plopped up in my head, like directly. I got
Yeah,
the
I
music.
can't unhear that.
The music in this game is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
I must say.
Oh, yeah, I would never argue with the music.
I
The
kept
music sounds
having
really,
like
really good.
second-hand nostalgia from music. 'Cause, like
yeah.
just like there was one point where I got to one of the tracks and I was like, I'm sure I've heard this in like a YouTube pube at some point, like 15 years ago.
It's the Lost Woods YouTube
Yeah.
music.
Like, I've heard all these tracks, but out of context. It's weird hearing them in context.
I know, it feels wrong, doesn't it?
So yeah, there's this whole section there where you have to like get to the castle, you have to sneak by guards, and then when you get to the actual castle, you can't actually enter it because there's a guy blocking the way. You have to backtrack in order to find his daughter.
Yeah, that's
It will
kind of
give
odd.
you, it will give you an item that you can use to wake him up. This seemed so superfluous.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing for a bit. I was like, okay, I just go back and go forward.
Game
again?
does
That seems
game
kind
does
of-
the game doesn't hold your hand, but at the same time, it doesn't really do a good job of directing.
It's what you would do
either.
to pan out a game that's quite short, but given the game is quite long, it doesn't feel like it really needed to do that.
Yeah.
But, you know, it wasn't a massive issue. Then you get to the stealth section, which I really enjoyed afterwards.
Yeah, that's quite a section where you have to basically time your dodge the guards.
It's the absolute minimum that you could call a stealth mission without.
Yeah.
It's so bare bones. I mean, I'm glad they do more of that later on in the game with stealth, but we'll go into that near the end of the discussion.
Oh, right.
But yeah, I do enjoy a bit of a stealth mechanic. It breaks up just doing combat all the time. It's a nice little change of pace, I felt, given that you can't really take on like an armed royal guard with a little kid with a sword, so I'm guessing sneaking is the only real option in that case. But
I mean, you can't really murder the royal guard, that seems...
No, I'm sure you could. You shouldn't is what you mean to say. You can do it. But yeah, so that's it. It was like a minute long, but it was quite nice.
Yeah. Then you run into Zelda, who... You have a nice big information dump here. She's
surprisingly cool with having an armed child bypass her guards and talk to her directly. She doesn't seem that bothered by it, which I thought was really commendable.
Because he's the boy from her dream.
I know. That sounds creepy when you say it like that. Yeah.
That makes it okay.
Dreams.
You're the boy from my dreams. I'm going to go.
You said that she had a dump of information. I said it before. The only real negative thing I have is the text bubbles that you can't skip. We like go quicker. Like
they want to make damn sure you read them.
No, did you see through the castle window and see the Mario posters on the?
Yes, I saw.
Yeah, that was nice.
If you shoot through the window, they actually get a little thing.
I didn't.
They get annoyed.
You get arrested. Yeah.
I told you it felt like I was being like held prisoner by the text box. Like I want to continue. I don't care. Please let me go. Please let me go.
I don't know if it was like sped up. If it was like pasted like Japanese text speed and didn't actually alter the text for English, maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, I just put it down to an N64 limitation thing. I don't know if it's they
purposely
purposely made it slow.
It also it's like this is the first like big 3D Zelda, and there's a lot of they really want to ramp up like the narrative in this game, and they maybe got a bit overboard when it comes to text.
Also, music-wise, it does sort of follow the context of what's being said, so keeping it in pace with the music does sort of add to the drama as well. So maybe that's why they chose to have it sort of be at like a stilted, like set text speed level. Maybe.
Anyways, Zelda talks about there's a big evil that's approaching Hyrule, but nobody wants to believe her. And it's up, and she tells Link to basically go collect a couple of gemstones. The Kokiri gemstone being the first one he already has. And we get a quick sneak peek at Ganondorf, the king of the Gerudos. It's a big...
absolute
big fucker.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Big lad.
Big lad, absolute big lad. And he seems friendly enough.
Yeah.
He's always smiling. He could always trust us.
Paranoid Zelda. In a conspiracy theory stage, he's gonna kill us all. Okay, Zelda, okay.
You guys have played like Smash Bros. Stuff, so you're probably already familiar with Ganondorf as a character. The specific design. This all...
yeah, with his big schnoz, yeah.
Is he Ganondorf in any other Zelda game, or is he only just Ganon in the other ones?
In the original... In the Link to the Past, if you let the game run, they go through like the backstory of the Link to the Past, and they talk about Ganondorf, the thief, Prince of Thieves, basically.
Yeah, and then Ganon's like the big like beastie thing, and Ganondorf's the actual like the Gerudo version, right?
Yeah.
Is he Ganondorf Drachma or something like that? I don't remember.
That might be like a fan thing.
Well, that's a Castlevania character.
Maybe it's from the animated series. I don't remember.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me, Ganondorf.
Completely canon animated series.
Hold on. Yeah, keep talking. I'm gonna Google.
I'm off on my Zelda lore. I'm sorry.
So yeah, you're introduced to Zelda's retainer Impa, who teaches you. I think this is the first song you
Zelda's
can get.
Lullaby, yeah.
Which it will become a
very familiar with. Yes, you will hear that a lot. That's the only one that I managed to like ingrain to my memory was the lullaby. It's the only one that I could play like verbatim.
I could that Epona and something else. I don't remember.
I knew the Scarecrow song. I used the Konami code for my Scarecrow song, so I knew that one.
Oh, that was good.
I was just thinking. Do you ever see the king?
No.
You just see him walking up to the king. Well, again,
he's having dinner.
Yeah.
More. So yeah, you are basically pointed to go to Death Mountain, but you can basically now you can open up some other places you can go to, and even though you're told to go to Death Mountain, it's better off for you to go to like Lost Woods, because that's the next plot point.
Not really. What I found out is you can go. Come on. You can go through the shortcut in the Gerudo's hideout.
Oh right,
which I didn't think about until later on because I'm stupid. Yeah. So I backtrack all the way through Hyrule Field, back to Lost Woods, and then back to the Death Mountain again, not knowing that there was a room to go through with bombs that gets you into Lost Woods easier that way. So that's my bad. I'm stupid.
So, yeah, but you can also go to the...
Would you have access to bombs at that point?
There's bombs actually on the door.
Yeah, the wall.
You use fire and then they go off.
Oh, okay, never mind. I didn't think about that.
Because it even plays the Lost Wood theme when you go near them. Like, it's giving you clues that you can go through there, but I just didn't put two and two together because I'm a brain dead.
I saw that, but I assumed that was, that's a shortcut you can access later, not now.
You just get the flamey stick, light the bombs on fire, then poof, you can go through and you're there in 10 seconds.
Can I just quickly say, character was given the name Ganondorf Dragmai in English version of A Link to the Past instruction manual.
Those are always canon instruction manuals.
While his monster form name was Mandrag Ganon.
What? That's not real.
You're making that up.
I'm on Wikipedia.
No,
it's real. Okay.
You've edited that yourself to make it look like it's...
Yeah, but anyway, the music thing, it's a very good, like, context clue, like, what is this? Like,
that I still missed. Fucking
so
hell.
You could also go to like the ranch at this point, and you probably should because you could get like a bottle there if you do like a mini game.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of like side stuff you can do.
You see Epona in there.
Don't you get Epona's song there as well at that time?
Yeah, you can.
This Epona stuff was really convoluted and not really well explained.
It was surprising how hard that was to get. Because he tried to like, I need to pull up Ocarina, and then
like if you don't get Epona's song when you're a child, I'm guessing that you just can't get Epona full stop.
You'd have to go back, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you can go back in time. You know,
gotta go back.
time. I never thought of that. Right enough. But you have to know to then go back to the ranch and then learn the song from there. Which I don't think you even have that explained to you at any point during the game that you can do that.
There are a fair few like optional songs that you don't need. Like if you go to the graveyard in Kakariko, you can get like the sun song.
I use that a lot.
Yeah,
that's handy for trying to get the fire arrows later on.
And also, the sun song also stuns like the Redeads. If you didn't know.
I didn't know.
Oh, I did, but I just never bothered to.
I just
walked past them.
Yeah, just deal with it.
There's also, I'm not sure if you guys knew this either, in the graveyard, when there's no one around, if you move one of the gravestones, you can get in the grave and you can find a Hylian shield that you don't need to pay for.
I found that, yeah.
Get in the grave.
Oh, you did?
I did find a Hylian shield, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, given I had like my cap of rupees at that point. I had 99 rupees in my pocket, and I couldn't really get any more than that at that point, but you don't use them to really buy that much. If you get the shield, there's not really much that you can actually use rupees for in that situation. So I was like, I got the free shield, so I've got no use for it
inconsequential in general. Once you
the fact that the Skulltulas, they give you a higher rupee cap, which again you can use to spend nothing on. It's almost redundant.
Particularly like when in the much later dungeons where you keep finding chests with rupees and I'm already at max. It feels like they're making fun of me at this point.
Yeah, the newer games I give credit for, they have to make rupees something that you actually need to harvest and farm to buy nicer materials. Where this game, they almost feel like you just not get any at all and still survive.
But if you're looking for something else as well, it's like, oh no, you found 50 rupees. Oh, fuck off.
That I can't pick up. Yay, thank you.
I want the key, damn it.
Very cool, very cool.
So the whole gold Skulltulas thing. I'm gonna assume that none of you went for 100% of that one.
Yeah,
I got the adult wallet.
I got that.
I checked
vibrating thing.
the rewards after, and like anything past 50 wasn't worth it. So I just
I only got it for the first 2. And I thought, okay, at that point, it's just no, I don't care for this anymore.
But they're so annoying though. The ghost scuttles, you kind of want to kill them when you hear them.
They're annoying to get though. Sometimes it's just I don't like them.
Yeah, and they're hidden away very well as well. Then you.
So Kakariko Village.
Yes, I mean there's stuff to do here, but you basically just pass through in order to get to Death Mountain.
You can get your Gold Skull 2 little collectible rewards from Kakariko Village.
Yeah, you can. I doubt you have enough to get any rewards by the time you get there first time.
I do enjoy the horrible like morphed spider boys in there. It's like, yeah, kill me! Just leave them like that.
Horrid.
It's fun.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't collect all of them. I want to stay like that forever.
Leave them to suffer.
Already here you can get like the second bottle if you do like the Cocoon Lady like side quest.
How many bottles did you get?
2. Which would be a problem later on for a number of reasons that I'll explain later. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So you go to Death Mountain and you meet the people there, the go-rounds, which are big rocky thin guys.
Big hungry lads.
Yes, and you meet with their leader, who doesn't want to talk to you until you teach him
after you play the lullaby at his front door again.
Yeah, that's it.
I got wrong for the first time. I didn't do it on this fucking carpet, so it didn't count.
Look, if you pull out the ocarina and it doesn't show you like a note chart, you are not doing it right.
Oh, well, thank you, Captain Hindsight. But I went to the bottom floor and played the ocarina, played the song, and nothing happened. And I thought, oh, I must have done the wrong thing then. I spent half an hour looking around trying to find some other way around.
that was a recurring problem I found.
And then play it. You're standing in the exact right spot. It won't like register that you played the ocarina.
Some of the puzzles is where even if you do the right thing, if you don't do it quite right, it doesn't.
It's the right thing.
The game doesn't give you any
place.
indication that you're on the right track, so you just. Okay, I'll try other things, and then you just end up half an hour going down the wrong path.
To his door, something like that. Give me some sort of give me a sign, please. Like, Navi, do something for once.
Sign, like, play here, dipshit.
Big pointy green arrow. Doing, doing, doing.
Play here, stupid.
So yeah, you then they get to Daruno, who doesn't really want to talk to you. But then you get if you talk around with the go-arounds there, they tell him that he enjoys a specific song that you can sort of hear through this passage.
He's a big fan of the Lost Woods.
This passage that Kyle somehow ignored.
Don't just pinpoint me for this. Did you guys all find that passageway?
Yeah, I just didn't use it.
I knew about it because of last gameplay. So.
That's even worse than not finding it at all. Seeing it and going, I'll take the long way around.
I thought, when you get the bombs, you can use it. I didn't think you could do it before.
I feel better now, actually. Okay.
It's not that far to get to you just walk down the field.
It's far enough.
So at this point, you have to navigate through Lost Woods while having to use the loudness of the music to navigate you through to the place you need to go.
The fucking Lost Woods. Oh my god. I don't like the Lost Woods. I hate everything about it.
Yeah, it's there's a reason why it's called that. You don't have a map. All the routes basically look the same.
Yeah, it's no fun to navigate. They make you go there a few times during the game, and it's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Stop making me go back through here.
It makes sense when he's got to follow, but when you need to go to other rooms, where you just have to remember which ones don't take you back to the beginning.
The Forest Temple again later on. It's also an arduous task getting through there. I don't want to do it. Don't make me do it. There's other things in there too for
if it was like just for that first time where you need to, and then afterwards it's like, okay, you can just go.
I'm sure there's hidden heart fragments and stuff in there, but I just don't want to look for them. I just don't give a shit about them. Fuck the Lost Woods. I mean, the song's great for the first 30-second loop that you hear it from. Then it repeats and repeats, and you start losing your sanity.
And then you meet the owl there. He must annoy you.
In the most annoying place in the game. That's ironic.
Yeah. So you basically have to find this. You navigate through this maze to get to another maze. That's
Billy Maze.
No, it's not really a maze.
Yeah. It's amazing.
It's basically.
It's more like force corridors to avoid things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not really fun.
There you meet up with Saria outside a place that will become significant later. But
How does
that's
she get through the
basically her.
maze?
She's a forest child. She can just walk through the
She's
trees.
just built different. Okay.
Yeah.
Skill
The game facts guide.
Actually, I think you'll
Looking
find
open like in ASCII code with the map.
ASCII Saria.
You learn the Saria song, which has really only one use in the game, but you can use it any time just to call Saria and have her tell you, hey, maybe you should go here.
Is that
The
what she does?
two Navis.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's Navi for then? If you got Saria on like command,
Navi is basically like you've gotten where you're supposed to be, and we should go here. Yes, we're here already, Navi.
yeah, Navi's really didn't use
Navi's
Navi
not
at
as
all.
helpful
Navi
as
was
they should
very
be.
annoying. Yeah, I
It's
didn't like
basically
Navi
like-
in the slightest.
It's basically like
They don't even give you
GPS.
clues. They just like give you like vague hints.
Yeah, it's basically like turn left at this. Like we're already here.
Navi could like point to the right direction, like kind of like what Sparks does in Spyro. Try to find like hidden like stuff. That'd be quite cool. But no, it's just an annoying like light thing that just gives you bad advice.
So anyway, you go back to Goron Town, Goron City, whatever it's called, and you play the Saria song for Daruna, the leader, who responds by jamming the fuck down.
He's like, absolute tune, mate. And he just starts going. Yeah, he loves it.
I actually didn't find that out until later playthroughs. If you play like a different song for him, he tries to dance, but they just gets like, nah, this ain't it.
Yeah.
This song ain't got the rhythm that I need, I'm sorry.
And I did that the first time. I just tried some songs, and I was like,
Oh, you
sorry.
know, it's good, but
Play
it's no song.
Lullaby again!
It's good, but it's no song too.
It's still Zelda's Lullaby. I love that track.
So he invigorated by the music in his heart, he decides to help you by giving you a bracelet that lets you pick up the bomb flowers, which sounds devastating to the
free range
ecological-
bombs.
They bring bomb flowers back in the Switch games, which is quite nice.
Right, yeah. You basically use that to gain access to Dongo's cavern,
Bongo's cavern.
because Daruna has like the Goron ruby, but he won't give it away until you solve their little Dodongo problem.
The Dongo problem.
Can't wait to bust some Dodongos.
Yeah, this is our first real proper dungeon, I guess. I mean, from like a non-tutorial standpoint.
Yeah, it's it's a pretty good.
To a certain extent, like basically everything you do as a child is kind of like an extended tutorial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
Then
lost in the
afterwards,
cavern, so I
then the
probably
game
shouldn't
gets
say
real.
much.
It's a very sizable dungeon. as
Yeah,
well.
I got lost as fuck in here. I have a clue where I was going.
Did you figure out the thing about the eyes naturally? Or
Nope.
Did you have to look that up?
Look
Okay.
it up.
I've forgotten already. What
Yeah.
was that again?
But to
You had
shield them.
to drop. You had to drop bombs in like the eyes of the big skull in order to get to the.
Oh, I don't know. Just blow things up. Yeah, that's what I did.
I couldn't figure out the
game.
bomb puzzle to make the staircase drop down all the bombs.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Oh, that thing, yeah.
There's no way of like knowing that's meant to be the way. It doesn't
I
give
don't
you
know.
any clue to that in the slightest.
I don't know. When I've just tried that out of desperation, it works. So okay, that's what they're expecting.
But desperation. Okay, I wasn't that desperate apparently. Oh well.
Yeah.
This is also the introduction of
Well, it's
like.
because the game gives you access to bombs, so I'm assuming like most things are going to need to use them.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. This is also the introduction of like having mini bosses. In
There's
dungeons when they
alphas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking hate these things.
At least they attack you 1-on-1. That's good.
Jumpy little things. They're on like different platforms, and like there's lava, and it's like, oh god, I
No,
don't
it was
like
only
this at all.
like once I was doing like the actual temples that later on when I finally got a grasp of like the combat. Up until this point, I was sort of just mashing buttons
This
still.
wielding, like smashing the button, trying to hit some things. Spray and pray.
So here's a fun little tip for anyone playing this game.
Why are you giving me
Now
tips
the
now?
Deku
Okay.
stick is sort of works as a sword, but it's very brittle. However, it does double the damage of the sword. So you
What,
can
what
just
sense does that make?
It's either a really good sticks or a really shit sword.
So if you equip the stick and then press the A button to do like the jumping attack, you do like quadruple damage.
Like it's some kind of bow staff or something. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Are you supposed to know that, or is that like just an
No!
Easter egg?
No, that's
Is there some description that all these sticks like real mad
It's another
damage?
desperation move that pays off if you're needing to use it, I'm guessing. Kind of like the bomb strategy earlier.
So, when you reach the boss of the area, King Dodongo.
Oh, King Dodu Bungu, yes.
This is sort of fun battle where you have to have him inhale bombs and then attack him.
This might be the easiest boss in the entire game.
Yeah. So, especially easy because since I used the Deku Stick trick, I beat him in like 2 hits.
You just throw in bomb and then you just stand on the edge of the lava so he just rolls past you and then just keep doing that until he's dead.
If you have the healing shield, you could just put that up and block. And he just rolls over you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What sense does that make? The shield doesn't like he's not getting squished properly. No, I just stood on the edge of the lava. He just didn't hit me because he hasn't got a wide enough hitbox for that. Just saw him roll on past and then just did the same thing like 4 times and then that was it. So that was quite underwhelming. But I thought, the second boss, they can still be a bit easy. Maybe they're going to ramp it up later on. I'll forgive it for now.
Oh, they ramp it up, all right.
Mm.
So you beat the dungeon, you get the ruby, and Daruna wants to give you a great big hug because you're a friend to all Gorons, and you run away screaming. There's a few comedic moments in this game that I kind of like.
I saw my first great fairy at this point.
Right, yes.
Those are
sexy lady.
That didn't do much for you.
No, they're
much fight.
It's talking to a child and it's weird and like no, I don't like
got
this.
Pointy breasts.
I mean they got a spin attack though, which is neat.
You're more of a Breath of Wild fairy fan.
Oh god, they're damn, they're voluptuous. Jesus. Yeah, I got the spin attack. I also got Din's fire up here as well, which is very useful.
I only got 2 of them.
No, Din's fire is at the Hyrule Castle.
Oh, I mean, that's also the fairy I got later.
You need the same what you get from this dungeon to access it.
Yeah, you need the bombs. Then you're directed to go to Zora's domain, which you now can enter with the bombs you just got.
Mm-hmm.
You go there, play Zelda's Lullaby again.
You get the magic beans at the beginning of that.
Oh yeah, that guy.
I never used those beans at any point in the entire game.
Oh, right next to him,
some of the like side content.
So right next to him, you see like this little like weird square with a dot in it. You use them there.
Yeah.
And then you go to like when you're an adult, basically, those are platforms you can ride to get places.
Yeah, so you don't have to walk.
That, or am I stupid?
It's trial and error, I think. More.
I mean, it's sat
okay,
like,
so no.
It's sat next.
Okay.
It's sat next to it, and it's,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
If you know your like bean lore, like from Jack and the Beanstalk, you might get an
not
idea.
from like Mr. Bean. Okay,
I don't remember because I knew when I played on the N64, I remember like, this might be like it grows when I get older or something like that. But I knew it. But I don't remember.
So you pass that and get to the 17th Wonderworld performance of on the Ocarina. It's just play the lullaby again. Okay.
Did you?
The Zora look fucking creepy in here. By the way, I hate them.
What, you don't like sexy fish people?
I would throw rocks at them if I saw them in the water. I don't like them at all. I would beat them with sticks.
Deku sticks, quadruple damage.
Deku sticks.
I was gonna say, go back a bit. Did you play the music for the frogs to get the rupees?
Oh yeah,
The what?
There's in the Soros River, there's like a group of there's like a tree stump. If you stand there with the ocarina, you can play songs to
This is new
the frogs.
Yeah,
it's side content.
Yeah, it's basically
needed.
You can play all the songs you get. For every time you play the first time, they give you rupees.
Okay, never mind then.
Interesting.
And then I think if you play the Song of Storms for them, they
kill you.
Give you a heart.
Oh, I forgot about Song of Storm. Would you play it for that weird windmill guy at some point who's like that horrible box thing that he has that is like nightmare fuel?
You're like, you get... Well, okay, we'll talk about it later.
That boy is cranking that thing. Who boy?
Yeah. So you go to Source of Main to meet with the king, who's a very big fish person.
Horrifying with his bulgy eyes and his dangly feet.
That's the weird thing. He's like a giant fucking blob, and like the other ones.
Man likes to eat.
I really dislike their
if you think
designs in this
he
game.
is big, look at the King Sora in like Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
He's a massive bastard.
He's not some sort of like Lovecraftian hellscape monster in that game though, so I can live with it.
Isn't it from that one? It's become like memes. What's the fish man called? Like
yeah, I know.
Sidon.
Yeah, with his arm pose that he keeps doing.
Yeah.
I love that guy. They look better in the later games than they do in this game.
Yeah.
I have to admit.
They have more polygons to play with, to be fair.
The less alien looking than they are in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, she's got that big head. She looks, like an alien, actually, yeah.
I don't like any of them.
So, you basically can't really do much with King Sora until you have to get... You have to do like a diving mini-game to get like the scale that makes you dive.
The scale concerned me. I thought, don't do any like prolonged diving sections in this game. I don't want to do that.
There's, quite frankly, not a whole lot of swimming in this game.
No,
Well. Apart from you know what that we'll get to later.
So you basically have to go. There's a passage in Source Domain that leads to Hyrule, Lake Hylia.
Yeah, Lake Hylia. Yeah.
Which is an entirely different area with predator NPCs. There's also a little area with the fishing minigame.
Yep.
If you want to go there.
There's also the scarecrows where you learn the scarecrow song.
Yeah.
The thing with the scarecrows, do they actually
game.
signpost where you actually use the scarecrow song? I know they make scarecrows appear at certain points in the game. Is there any sign that says use it here?
At
Is it
some
like
point,
Navi,
Navi flies off and suddenly grows green. That's when you... And there's nothing there. That's when you play the song.
Did they mention that was a thing in the game at any point?
No, they don't.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it a single time. So
Actually,
I love when it signposts and it doesn't tell you what the signpost actually means. That's nice.
Actually, this is a good point to mention. There's a side quest in this game where you had to deliver masks.
Yeah, I did one of them.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So right next to the entrance to Hyrule Castle, there's a mask shop that opens after you talk to the guard there.
Oh, yeah.
If you go there and you have to basically buy a mask or rent a mask, sell it to other people and give the profits or deficit back to the salesman, happy mask salesman.
That sounds mind-numbingly tedious.
Yeah. There's like 4 masks you have to do this. And then you unlock the Mask of Truth, which if you see those like stones randomly dotted around with like a big eye thing.
The Yiga looking things, yeah.
Yeah, if you have the mask on and you interact with those, you actually get like gameplay hits.
Oh, wait, so you have to do the side quest to get hints?
Yeah, I have to do like 4 fixed quests to get game hints.
Yeah, and you also get like weird lore and such that's not mentioned anywhere else. It's really weird.
Plus
They locked that behind a quest. What's wrong with them?
The mask guy shows up then in Ocarina. I mean, Majora's Mask later.
Yeah, he becomes a prominent character. Yeah, you also get like a mask of like Gerudo, Zora, and the Goron that you can wear. So it can look like a Zora.
Well, the first one is the Pikachu mask, I think.
No, Keaton mask.
But
mask.
It looks like Pikachu.
It's a fox.
If you say so.
It looks more like It's yellow. It looks more like Pikachu.
So, as I was saying, you go to Lake Hylia, and with the scale, you can dive far enough to get the bottle that has a message written in it from Princess Ruto of the Zora, who says that she's been eaten by a big fish.
Jabu.
And don't tell her dad. So you immediately go and rat her out to her dad.
I've been eaten by a fish. Don't tell my dad.
This very long cutscene of King Sora sidling over just to give you passage that lasts for like 30 seconds. Or
it is funny though, to be fair. I'll give him that. To kind of slowly shuffle his way across. It's very well done.
It makes a little like.
Squishing noise.
Do you think his legs can like hold his
sustain his weight? I don't think.
He's like permanently stuck on that waterfall.
That's why he sits down for. He can't stand.
I just pictured right now him like coming in a an American like electrical scooter like.
Yeah, the king skips leg day evidently.
So you go to this area that has a big big fucking fish in it.
And
did you guys figure out how to deal with this part right away?
Eventually, yeah.
So I know that there's
You need to I can't
things
finish
in
the game.
the fountain itself. There's another fairy that you can visit here.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
it gives you.
Farore's
This
Wind.
is the Farore's Wind.
Which I thought I didn't find that until the end of the game, and that would have been mega useful to have earlier. But that is very handy power.
Actually rarely use it. It didn't really.
I didn't use it a single time.
Given how fond I am of backtracking in games, having that would have been very, very useful. But no, I didn't get it, so fuck me, right?
There's probably areas where I could have used that for.
But if you did the Mascone quest, then you would have got a hint for it.
Oh, good God. Yeah, what was the technique for getting into the fish again? I forgot.
You need to catch a fish in a bottle.
Oh, yeah, I did do that. Yeah.
And then basically feed him, and he sucks you into him, and then. I always love a good the fleshy inside.
It gave me strong Pinocchio vibes.
Erik, sorry, I thought you were going to say I always like a good vor.
I got strong Pinocchio Monstro vibes from that. I thought it was quite neat. I do like the fleshy walls. It was a bit of a change from the usual kind of drab stone walls that you get in most of these dungeons. So yeah, it was nice, aesthetically pleasing. The dungeon itself, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you had to do there. One of them being you had to do basically like an escort mission, but you had to carry the escort.
Now, Ruto is very unpleasant in this part of the game. I don't like her at all.
Yeah, it's just standard bratty.
I would leave her in there.
Attempt at humor that's not working.
I would leave her in there to just digest. I think if it were me again, could not cope with that. You have to carry her over your head and just kind of
I quite like that because that's how Link holds every item in the game. He carries it over his head, even
like a pot. Yeah. Yeah.
And you had to throw her around. You had to put her on switches in order to gain.
It's really a game that appeals to the male fans to carrying women.
Really annoying. You get the boomerang though, which is phenomenal.
Probably one of the best items in the game.
For young Link, definitely.
Yeah.
It's the most fun to use. It's got the most versatility, and it's infinite use, which is great. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and you can it's sort of a lot of things get stunned by it, but you can actually kill a lot of enemies with it as well.
Like the sub boss, I didn't realize until after the fact.
Yeah, because at one point you get you find the sapphire, Sora Sapphire, just hanging about.
Just hanging about.
But you have to throw root on it, and then suddenly the whole floor just rises, and down comes like a big fucking octopus thing.
No, this thing took me about 5 minutes to kill. I was trying to run behind it by trying to outpace it and going around doing laps around.
Bad.
I didn't think about using the boomerang to stun it and then do it that way. It never dawned on me. So I spent 5 minutes trying to avoid these spikes on the inside wall and trying to kind of lap faster than he was to try and get its tail, and then you would turn around and it would ruin it all. And I hated it. And
I knew to use the boomerang, but it was really half the time it just wouldn't work. I wasn't sure whether it was me or it was just the game's targeting system was being ass.
Yeah, it's a bit finicky. This fight.
Sled talking can be a little bit pernickety in certain points where you can't get a lock on and things that you're trying to lock on, and it can be a little bit frustrating. But it's not that common. But usually when it's a really tight situation, it'll be a little bit more temperamental because it's like it knows sometimes that you're trying to get a lock on fast, and it goes, nah, well, let's take our time. Let's just mull it over for a little bit.
Yeah. After you beat the boss, there aren't a whole lot you have to do after this in order to get to the final boss.
Oh, Baronade.
This creepy fucker is... What the hell is this?
That's a good boss battle right there. That's the good shit.
It's fucked up.
That's a proper boss battle to me. I love that. Best one so far in the game, definitely.
Oh yeah, the design is good.
Going on.
The
multiple phases and stuff. I love all that. Phenomenal. I love multi-phase boss battles. You have to change up your strategy and try and keep things fresh.
He actually provides a bit of a challenge as well, because you basically have to dodge him the entire time.
A bit of bullet hell going on sometimes. Yeah, really, really well done. From what you've managed to get so far, mechanic-wise and weapon-wise, it's a good use of all the tools that you've got in your arsenal at that point.
Also, the grossest death of a boss. He just explodes into gore.
Explosive chicken pox.
Beautiful, beautiful. Love it.
There is also something charming about the
It's
NC
still
Square
like
graphics
happening
and
inside the big fish as well. I don't know how he's feeling. Gives
Well,
him some indigestion.
It's some kind of tumour that you had that you've managed to excise, so you should be thanking you,
it's
really.
not a tumor.
Not a tumour.
So, yeah, you beat the Baronade and make him into Marinade.
Yeah, and then the root is horny for you.
Yeah,
Some reason.
She basically heavily implies that she gives you the Sapphire as like an engagement ring. Link is non-divisive. Basically, every single...
He's like 10 years old, of course he's non-divisor.
This made me feel very at the time. I don't know why.
I feel like every single female NPC at Link's age is hitting on him. It's weird.
I don't know if it's like some weird attempt at humour that I'm not getting. It just feels wrong.
Hey, the man's just like got a 10-year-old love machine, apparently, yeah. It's very strange. I didn't like that. That gave me a few kind of bad vibes. I wasn't fond of that.
So, yeah, you get all the stones, and now...
Back to the castle to celebrate.
Yeah, woo! But the
We
scar...
all get home and a job well done.
Okay, what can go wrong here?
So, I guess I forgot to mention that at the beginning of the game, it started like a dream of Link standing at the castle gates, seeing someone riding by, and then suddenly being confronted by who we later learned to be Ganondorf. And this scene just straight up plays here when you get to this point of the game.
Yep, just like his Japanese animes. It all plays out in real life.
There's Zelda froze. It's one who rides by. She throws something in the lake, in the moat.
Drive by Ocarina Ring, yep.
Yeah, and this is your first face-to-face with Ganondorf, and you get some of his character.
He blasts the shit out of a child as well. That's phenomenal. He just ganks him in the field. Phenomenal.
Great stuff.
Oh yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. I'll beat a kid up. Doesn't bother me. Then he goes off.
Which I'm totally fine with.
It's fine by me.
This is the first time like Ganondorf, and by extension Ganon, actually has like a personality inside of the games.
Yeah, he's a big goofy guy.
Yeah. So he chases on Zelda, but you pick up the Ocarina of Time, replacing your old Ocarina. When you do that, you get like a cutscene where Zelda teaches you the Song of Time, and you're told to go to the Temple of Time to play it in order to unlock the area with the Master Sword.
The Master Sword reveals, as the reveals go for that sword, this has got to be one of the better ones, because it's a really kind of dramatic reveal of the Master Sword being
Close to like an old man in a cave giving it to you.
Well, yeah, I mean, Link to the Past is quite a good one. Breath of the Wild's one was okay. Tears of the Kingdom's got a better one, I think. Not to spoil it or anything, but yeah, this one's pretty damn impressive though. It's like, oh shit, it's the Master Sword. Oh, cool.
I'm trying to remember what this was like in Wind Waker. I think it was pretty cool then as well. And the Link to the Past one is also pretty interesting.
Yeah, you go in the forest and all the animals are going past and stuff, and that's quite neat. It's more kind of like humble than this one, but yeah, it's definitely imposing.
So you Link pulls out the sword, and then immediately realizes he fucked up because now Ganondorf has access to the sacred realm.
You got played like a fiddle, or an ocarina, if you will.
Somehow Ganondorf returned.
And then every face white, and then you suddenly wake up with like this big bearded-looking man standing in front of you. At which point you realize, oh, you're an adult now.
Oh, I need to pay taxes now. Oh,
I just realised that that sage looks a lot from the Dungeons and Dragons animated series from the late 80s, early 90s. He looks...
That's the connection you make.
He actually... Why am I picturing him now? But he doesn't have a beard, but he's I'm thinking of the clothes. Anyway, go on.
So basically, because Link touched Master Sword, he is now designated the hero of time, but since he was so young, he needed time to grow up in order to actually use it, so he's been in a coma.
Yeah. Luckily, his clothes still fit him as an adult.
He's basically Gordon Freeman, like...
He's got that Hulk get-up on that still fits him the exact same as when his child wore it.
And in the intervening time, Ganondorf would just run roughshod over Hyrule, so I guess that's okay.
Yeah, and there's horrifying, screaming Gibdos in the courtyard.
Yeah. There's also a little... this isn't probably not very noticeable on the original like CRT, but if you get like a certain angle, get close up at Link's ears, you notice that he has like a piercings.
Yeah, he's got an earring. Yeah,
You see that more on the Switch as well.
Yeah. Who gave him that?
Oh,
While he was asleep.
It must have been Sheik. Sheik did it.
yeah. She just shows up and like, yeah.
Yeah, Sheik's a character we should really mention, shouldn't we?
Yeah, so you get the
then.
first. Your mission now is to awaken the 6 sages. The first sage being the guy who just talked to you. Also, this is a good time to mention that this sage, Roru, this was only revealed in side material, but he is actually the owl.
Oh.
Roru's in Tears of the Kingdom as well.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew a little bit of who that was. Yeah, I kind of called the Sheik thing, but the first time I saw who it was, I had two things in my head as to who Sheik was. And I was right on one of them.
Wait, so you didn't know?
No!
I thought it was like
I'm playing this game blind. No, I haven't played it like that.
I thought it was like
I just knew from
I thought it was either Zelda or it was some kind of like grisly future version of Link.
Did you know that Samus is a woman?
Yeah, I know Metroid.
What?
You mean Metroid is a woman?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Then very over Metroid was girl.
Who the fuck's Samus?
A woman.
So yeah, your job now is to go to the temples across the land.
Yeah. You can get a Epona at this point as well.
Basically, more temples.
If you figured out how to do.
Yeah, so you have to go to the pen. You have to then pay to ride Epona just randomly. Then pay to get back into the ring again, and then talk to the guy who runs it when you're in the pen on Epona. Then challenge him to 2 races that are equally as cheaty. And then they have to then escape the farmyard from there. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Just at that point, the controls on the horse.
Yeah, Epona is highly unnecessary for the entire game. The open world ain't that big, frankly.
But the thing is,
the only thing it does for you is that Epona can actually jump across the broken bridge in Gerudo Valley to get to that part much earlier.
Yeah, with the exception of that, we can't really do much when you get there. There's not anything there to actually do until you get the hook shot anyway, so there's not really any reason to go there.
If you get sick of walking through that fucking field all the time.
You can just teleport with what you get later on
thing is, they have that Mario Luigi model. They wanted to use it a lot more. That's why.
Yeah, Talon and Ingo.
Yeah, it's Mario Luigi, though.
Yeah. Basically.
The third Mario brother, yeah.
Yeah, but so speaking of hookshot...
Yeah, you basically instructed to go to Kakariko Village and the graveyard there to go to the Dampe, the grave digger.
Yeah.
It's grave.
Cheaty McFlamethrow's down here.
Yeah, he wants to challenge you to race so he can get his most prized possession.
I hate this guy. I hope he burns.
No, he's just... Did
he do his, like... when you're a child, he has like a minigame where he jigs randomly to pay money.
I did it a little bit, but...
Yeah, you basically just get... That's one of the ways to get like a heart piece. It's random, so it's not fun.
Great, my favourite. Yeah, this race is annoying. So he just throws flames at you when you're racing him to try and block you off so you can't get in front of him. He's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah. So you also get... you can also redo those races, and if you can do it in like a minute, you get like a heart container as well. It's I remember struggling with that a lot when I was a child,
and still to this day.
So yeah, you get the hook shot, which is a neat little thing.
The hook shot's fine. I will say I didn't really enjoy the aiming, the fine tune aiming on the.
Yeah.
You can't do you can't do small movements on the analog stick.
That's actually a thing I wanted to mention. I felt like on the N64 controller, the analog was very like hard to aim, but I found it a lot easier on the GameCube for some reason.
It doesn't have like analog.
I
It's
don't
either going
like
all
it.
left or no left at all. It's not kind of like a fine gradual like. I
I
imagine the
didn't
gyros
like
on
it
the 3D
being
version work quite well
inverted.
on the 3DS. I imagine it'd be quite good using the gyros.
Oh right, the aiming is inverted.
So it's actually like fucking.
Yes.
Because was that just not a problem for you then? Because it
No,
felt like I was
no,
playing
that-
dyslexic aiming.
That caused me a whole bunch of headaches as well. Eventually, yeah, that was a nuisance. Between the fine aiming and the fact that it's upside down.
And because it's an old N64, there isn't like an option to change it.
Yeah, that was bad. So any like fine aiming of the hook shot or with the bow and arrows or anything, I found that not fun.
I love it. So yeah, you get the hook shot, which you need to get to the first temple, the fourth temple. You had to go through Lost Woods.
Yes, my third visit to the Lost Woods. And
They'll play that song again.
I will say, this time round, I still didn't like it.
I think this is the worst temple in the game.
The first temple?
It's pretty bad. I gotta agree.
I
I
quite
don't
liked
like
it,
the
to
first
be
temple.
honest.
I think I got mostly annoyed.
There's worse. There's always...
Compared to some of the other temples.
Yeah, this one's
so
tame.
this first temple is the introduction of a new dungeon mechanic, which is the keys.
It's not really a new mechanic. It's in all the old games as well. It's more
but it's the first time they
bringing on an old
here.
mechanic into a new game. But yeah,
the keys
I have
unlock
to
the
admit,
thing.
like, I've never liked the classic 3D dungeon. I mean, the old classic dungeon system of getting keys to unlock doors, to find other keys, to get other doors, to find a big key that goes into a big door. In the
Also
middle.
get the
I've never
compass and the
liked-
map that you don't need.
Oh yeah, the compass and the map. Yeah.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. But when Breath of the Wild was released, and I saw complaints about people, there's no big dungeons, there's only shrines. I was like, no, this is good. The shrines are so much better.
Well, no, you have the divine beasts in Breath of the Wild, which are the kind of their dungeons, but they're a lot more
yeah,
intuitive.
they're not that big though. It's
and they're more
very much
open plans, so you have to they're not like labyrinthian sort of like rooms. I'm in rooms within rooms that go in different tangents, and you can't go back in certain ways. And yeah, I didn't enjoy a lot of the dungeons in this game. I'll readily admit that. It's
that's also.
I walked through my way through the vast majority of these dungeons because I just didn't have the time nor
One of the
inclination.
stronger points of the game, to be honest.
Fucking hell!
Really?
Yeah.
Defend your point, Craig.
I like working out where to go in. I don't know. It felt like the only gameplay part of the game, as opposed to like the in-between bits of the dungeons.
It's like if you miss like one of the keys, you'll be looking around for a long time trying to find where that key is, and then you can't do anything.
There's definitely like a handful of points I can where, it took me like half an hour to know what to do afterwards.
Because the first
you're defending this.
Well, it's more of a problem in the later dungeons rather than this one. This one I didn't really struggle with.
But the forest dungeon, sort of like the first sample, sort of baits you by giving you a key. It's like, okay, I can go unlock this door, and then you enter a room. There's a second locked door. It's like, oh, come on.
Okay, where's the other key?
I like the twisting hallway things quite cool in this
That
dungeon.
is pretty neat. That's a pretty
This
neat
looks cool from an aesthetic standpoint. It's quite cool. Like, from a practical standpoint, it's a pain in the arse. You have to keep going back and forward.
You have to fight these ghosts that take so many hits.
Oh,
to kill.
Pose. I had to guess about the whole shooting the pole portrait thing to get him to come out, because I don't think it said so at any point. You had to do that.
Yeah, you get like a bow at this dungeon.
Oh, you see you get the Stalfos here as well. You've got to fight.
Oh, the Stalfos.
Like the Stalfos with the shields.
They're the most annoying enemy in the game, and at some point, if you don't kill them both fast enough, the other one will just come back.
I found that out the hard way. Yeah, that was. I really didn't like that at all. They were awful to fight. I'm sure there's some technique that you have to use, but my god, I couldn't find it.
So after you attack them, if you drop like a Deconut, you can stun them, but otherwise they just block the sun all the time with the shields.
Yeah, that's really not good. You got a few sliding block puzzles to play with here as well, which I didn't like very much.
There's one, and it's not much of a puzzle, really.
Yeah, I'm still not a fan of it. It's just asking for trouble. But yeah, this dungeon is, looking back, it wasn't a great way to bring on this is the next.
Yeah.
Here's this, imagine doing this times 6. You're welcome.
And then we get to the boss battle.
Now,
where you suddenly meet Ganon.
I will say,
no.
Phantom Ganon fight is really fun. I like this fight quite a lot.
Yeah, and it's also acts like a sort of like a preview of things to come later.
Oh, with deflecting the magic and stuff.
Yeah,
and that kind of like the deathly game of Pong that they're playing. Yeah, that's quite fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Watching the portraits and seeing them come out and stuff.
Here's a fun development history thing. When they made this game, they struggled to like have like the format. Can we actually make an open world game? They experimented with having like have it like Super Mario 64 where you entered like paintings and such. And this boss battle was basically like a result of them basically some of the original design around that sort of concept.
I've read that before.
We like paintings. Let's use it in the boss.
It would have been better, I think, personally, but maybe that's just
it's a fun effect though, having him come out of the paintings.
All four of them, but only one's real and all that, and that was quite a cool concept. I'm pretty the more fights didn't do more kind of like creative, kind of like mind bending stuff like that. That was quite fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was definitely
you get a boss, but then all the bosses just like, oh, if you play Dark Souls, it's like
it was one of the better fights in the game, I think. Actually, the Phantom Ganon fight, I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah. So you defeat him. He gets banished to the Shadow Realm by Ganon.
Well, game's over.
Oh, this is just a shadow of Ganon.
He hates his own shadow. What's he gonna do to me?
So, you meet the Sage of the Forest, which turns out to be Saria.
Of course it
Your
is.
old
Yeah, who
childhood
else could
friend.
it be? Your annoying bully friend.
That would be a hell of a twist.
Nino!
Hey, smelly poo-poo face, it's me. I'm the new Sage.
There's
I've got to help this twink out.
The
Okay.
Deku Tree chose me, not you.
There's a fun little moment earlier. There's a fun little moment earlier in Lost Woods where he actually come across Mido and he doesn't recognize you.
Because you're an adult and he's
Because
still
an absolute unit towering over.
You should have beat the shit out of him there.
Yeah. So the thing about the Kokiri is that they are forest children and never grow up. But
They're like the Lost Boys, basically, aren't they? Essentially.
Yeah, and
Babies and all.
But Link has. And then we get like you get teleported to the front of the dead Deku Tree, and the new Deku Tree is sprouting.
Baby tree.
And decides to tell you Link's backstory, that he is in fact a Hylian.
Real boy.
He's
I'm a real boy.
who was left at the base of the Deku Tree when he was a baby by his mother. It's also revealed there that 10 years prior to the start of the game, the Hyrule was embroiled in like a civil war. That I did not get that vibe from when playing the game that there was like 10 years of.
I don't remember that dialogue, to be honest. So
Didn't they say Link's mum died at that point?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just say that she's dead. Yeah, that's
killed off screen.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So basically, all the kingdoms were warring until they got unified under King Hyrule, whatever. Was weird little fact. So at this point, you move on to the next temple, the Fire Temple. You go to Garden City that has been all but abandoned, but except for a little guy who's named after you, who's Dariona's son.
Yeah. And you get some fresh duds from that guy. He's like, yeah, have some new
yeah.
clothes, friend.
Yeah. So if you don't need to talk to him to get the red tunic, you can also talk to like the shopkeeper who sells it.
Sell it to you.
For 200 rupees, so you need like a valid upgrade.
I couldn't even carry that much at that point, so it's like, okay, that's
some damn fresh clothes.
Yeah, you basically, at this point, you're introduced to like the concept of certain clothes will help you in certain situations. So the Goron tunic will help you in extremely hot areas.
Does it have any like defense buff, or is it only just the aesthetic and the defense from the?
There's no defense buff.
Okay. Yeah, because if you go in Death Mountain as a child, it gives that timer.
Yeah.
Before you can bust spontaneously, yeah.
So, okay, I guess, this is what these are for then.
It doesn't seem like Sheik has any problem with the heat, though. She's just walking around.
Yeah, Sheik's built different.
I'm sorry, I meant he.
I mean, they. Yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
They teach you the...
Assume what my actual character is developing.
Even though I know for a fact who it is.
So Sheik shows up right before each temple and teaches you the song to.
Then you have a jam session together.
Yeah.
Rock with me, Link. Play the final countdown.
Yeah. The fire temple is rough. It's a long temple.
Anything with like a lava floor where a character auto jumps when hitting an edge is something that I don't vibe with properly. I don't like it.
There's also rooms in the. It's also very vertical. There's some rooms that are above others, and if you fall down,
It's got some dickhead traps as well, like fake doors and stuff that like land on you and stuff like that, and invisible mazes and killer floor tiles, like just things to fuck with you.
I like this temple.
You're a troll. You would.
Weirdo.
I had less trouble in terms of like getting stuck. It took a long time just to get around it. Was the problem.
Having to find all the Gorons. I missed one, and I'd spend like an hour trying to find which room I'd missed to try and get the Goron that I didn't get in the first place. I didn't enjoy that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was frustrating.
There's also like optional areas you can go to that has no bearing to the actual thing. It's just like, hey, here's a gold skull or whatever.
But it's all cool because you get a big hammer, which is good.
Well, Eric, the gold, like, there's that in pretty much every temple, like extra rooms with that if you want to go back.
Yeah.
Can we mention the mini boss in this level 2 of them? I guess technically they're fine, but they take far too many hits to go down.
Yeah, they do.
Far too many. Once you get the technique nailed down, it's easy, but they keep on going and going and going, and they do it twice. It's the exact same fight the second time round.
The fire dancer thing.
Yeah.
I liked fighting him.
I like the design of them skating around, and then they hit them with the bomb, and they turn into little guys and run around.
I think you're just complaining a lot, Kyle.
Shut up. That's what we're here for, to critique a masterpiece.
Pick it apart.
So you save the Gorons, you go to the final boss chamber with Volvagia, the big dragon.
Really cool design.
Yeah,
cool.
very cool.
I said something nice about the game, Craig. There you go. You're welcome.
I just said very cool, even though it's a fire boss.
Playing a bit of a whack-a-dragon with the hammer that you get.
Yeah, a little whack-a-mole here. Yeah, that's a little fun.
Yeah, that was quite cool. Yeah, it's a decent boss fight. I was happy with that.
Then you meet the Darunia again, who's awakened as a sage of fire.
Brother.
Yeah, brother.
I'm a sage now, brother.
He gives you the medallion, fire medallion.
Yeah, the red one.
So originally in this game, all the medallions were supposed to be like items that you can use. And
I was going to say that. That would have been a cool thing to add to the game.
The fire medallion was supposed to be like the Din's fire.
Like Din's fire. That makes sense, actually, yeah.
Yeah. So, because there's a point later when you have to use Din's fire, and if you look at the ground, you see the symbol for the fire temple that they didn't remove. Speaking of removal, so this game had multiple... had re-releases to fix bugs and sort of thing, but in the original release of this game, Nintendo accidentally used like a sound sample for like chanting in the Fire Temple music that was like an Islamic prayer.
Okay, right.
Wasn't there as well? One of the symbols was like the star.
The Gerudo symbol is very close to like the half moon.
Yeah, half moon and star thing. Yeah. I think in the GameCube release they changed. Yeah. I remember the chanting as well.
I can only imagine why they would do that.
Yeah, so there was no big controversy surrounding the Islamic prayer, but they removed it because it was violated like their personal policy of religious iconography in their games.
It's a little bit sus, yeah. It's worth taking it out just to play it safe rather than, I know it was 1998, no one really had the internet to spread these things back then. That wouldn't fly nowadays. If that came out now, that'd be a massive issue.
They also changed like some blood that's green in the newer version were red originally. So it was a lot more brutal originally.
Ah, brilliant.
No one dies in Nintendo.
Thank you, Nintendo. Very cool. Love censorship. Keep doing it.
So, you next up on the agenda is the infamous Water Temple.
Well, even before you get there's
Oh, right, you had to get the boots.
Now, through the ice temple thing, whatever it's called, the ice chamber.
The ice cavern.
Ice cavern.
So the original idea for the water temple was that it was supposed to be like this entire section, but an ice temple. But they They went back on that. This is the water temple instead.
The ice cavern is bad, and they should feel bad for making it.
You had to basically, if you already didn't have enough bottles, you're gonna struggle here.
I had bottles full of fairies.
was...
I had to waste them at full health to fill up with fucking blue flames.
Yeah.
It's a terrible idea for done.
An awful idea to dump all my items that I've been saving for an emergency and just let go of my fairies to just be free, just so I can get these one-use items that only serve one purpose for one puzzle, or I guess more than one puzzle.
Actually, when we speak of bottles, did you guys figure out how to get the 4th bottle?
I only got 2.
Right. So, in the dilapidated castle town, there's near the gate. There's a little guardhouse. If you go in there, there's a Poe buying guy, the ghost buying guy. There's when you ride around a Poe now in the overworld, there are these big ghosts that you can shoot down and capture. And if you get 10 of them and deliver it to this ghost selling guy, you get the bottle.
I mean, I saw the guy, but I didn't really. I
didn't
pursue what he was saying. I didn't bother. It was just like another shop.
The thing is, since you need to use a free empty bottle in order to catch these big posts, you can't really do them all at once. You have to, and they are like scattered all over Hyrule Field, so they're hard to find as well.
Is it even worth it for an additional bottle?
Not really.
No. So yeah, the 2 bottles that I had, 2 blue flames. That's all you carry at that point.
Yeah.
So that was annoying.
It just felt like they wanted the player to be in this place longer than needed be. Let's make them like go back to the fire again.
Then there's more sliding block puzzles as well in here on the ice.
Oh yeah.
That one of those puzzle games that's you hit the block, then move this way, and then don't go down the hole. And it was easy enough, but it was just tedious. It's just a time sink.
Yeah. And then if you bring some blue flame back to the frozen king, the King's Aura is in the big block of ice, and you unfreeze him.
Oh, you have to, yeah.
I mean, you don't have to. You could also buy the tunic.
Well, let's leave the king in suspended animation for this. Okay.
See ya. So yeah, you get the sword tunic, which you need because you have gotten the iron boots from the ice cavern that lets you walk on the bottom of the.
Link's a terrible swimmer.
This becomes
he's too good at swimming. He can't sink.
That becomes a frustrating game of switching items in the inventory constantly later on in the game.
Yeah.
So
this is one of the things they improved on in the 3DS remake.
From what I heard, you can just
because they actually made it like a item.
It's bound to touchscreen. You can just like boop, and it changes, doesn't it? And then rather than having to go into pause the game, go into the item screen, change the boots, leave the menu, do something.
If it wasn't that one problem, that it would not be a problem. That dungeon would be fine.
I mean, you still have to do a lot of like sinking and raising the water as well.
But if you could just do it with a button press.
So the water temple is kind of infamous, even for like non-Ocarina of Time players, for a number of reasons, and I do think it's a reputation that it does definitely deserve.
It's
mostly because of the limitation of the N64 is the problem. That they have to go in the menu constantly.
No, you can do Rising Water quite well, like in Toy Story 2, the game.
You were bringing Toy Story 2 into this.
It's got a better water rising mechanic than Ocarina of Time's got. Fight me, I don't care.
So one of the major issues is that each time you want to sink and raise water, you have to go in front of these little symbols, and you have to play Zelda's Lullaby every single time. You had to do it.
How often do you think you played that song over the duration of the game? How many times do you think you played Zelda's Lullaby?
15 to
easily in the double digits.
Yeah. No, you're talking probably a game, like 13, 14, 15, maybe more than that.
Yeah, I would say so.
It's frustrating.
Especially if you mess up and you don't know where to go, so you have to reset the fucking water.
If there were like multiple points in the level, you could actually change it, not just like one set point for each level, it would be fine. Because it's only 1 point per water level, it's just you have to go back to that exact same spot and then play the song to get the water back where it should be, and then it's just, if you get it wrong, you then go back to where you just came from and do it again. If you just play it on a level and then changed it, it would be fine, rather than having to stand on a certain spot.
Sounds like nitpicks to me.
That's why we're here. I mean, the Water Temple, that's why it's known for being like that. I'm not the only person to ever critique the Water Temple before.
No, I didn't have a problem. I just had a problem with having to keep changing the fucking boots.
This isn't some like cutting-edge critique that I've got. This is quite a commonly held belief about the Water Temple being not great.
Which I don't understand, because the Woods one is worse.
No, it's not.
They can both be bad, Johan. You know that, right?
They can.
What's wrong with the Wood?
This is no Highlander. There can be only one scenario. They can have more than one like fault with a temple.
I don't know. I had no problem with it.
So, at this point, you also meet Princess Ruto in there, who has all grown up and also reveals that she's your fishwife now.
Fishwife. Yeah, I didn't like that.
Reveals.
Haven't seen him in seven years.
Link seemed pretty shocked at that revelation as well.
Yeah, he's like, fish lips.
I heard about sleeping with the fishes, but this...
Hey, how long were you sitting on that one for? Is that on your script?
Let me be here. No.
You've written that down, don't bullshit me.
So as you navigate through this mess of a dungeon, so this is one of the more famous mini bosses. Shadow Link.
Help this make sense to me. I don't understand why he's there, what purpose he serves, and how you beat him.
I think it's just, remember that from Link to the Let's do it again.
I just spammed Din's Fire and then there's hoped and hit at that point, because I didn't know what the technique was, but I don't know what function he serves in the Water Temple, just being in this random white kind of ethereal room out of the middle of nowhere. There's no build up to it. It's like the Scott Pilgrim Nega Scott fight at the end of the movie, where it's just he's now here, then it's gone.
I don't know if it really needed that. Maybe if it happened in the last place.
Well, it's like dark alter ego. It's something that you think you want to at least explain a little bit, right?
He's a bit shimmery, so maybe it's made out of water. I don't know.
But they don't bother to explain it.
I didn't have this big existential think about it when I was doing the fight. I'll be honest.
But yeah, think about it though. It's for an RPG that's all about storytelling. It's something that you want to actually, cover a little bit.
It's action adventure.
It's an action RPG.
There's no levels in this game. It's
got a proper plot and stuff to it. You've got to follow. It's
that's not unique to RPGs.
It's an RPG. I'm telling you, it's an RPG.
Does a game have the story? It's role playing.
It's a definite RPG.
Call of Duty is my favorite RPG.
Finally,
I don't know how I even have to argue with all this stuff.
Well, any game with a developed plot though has to explain these major characters appearing out of nowhere. I'm just saying.
Zelda was never known for its story. I don't care what anyone says.
So
okay.
This is
gameplay.
This is can be a pretty rough fight if you don't have the right items, I guess.
Or patience.
At this point, when I originally played through this game, I did the whole side quest where you get the big sword from the guy at top of the Death Mountain. Did you guys do that?
No idea what that is.
How do you? It's like this whole
something else with me.
So there's this entire trading section where you have to get an item that will deliver another guy to deliver another guy.
Like the masks, basically, same sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's basically like a whole trading chain, and at the end of it, you get the big Arl sword, which is a big fucking sword.
That's news to me. I had no idea.
Also, you can also get the version of this sword if you go to Goron City, and there's this big Goron in there behind some bamboo walls that will sell it for you for 200 rupees, but that breaks.
I was gonna say, I remember the one that I didn't do it. I didn't do that one, but I remember the one that breaks from the last gameplay. I did.
So you basically get a two-handed sword that does a lot of damage and is very long, but you can't block with it. You can't use shields. So
that sounds a bit more problems than help.
The glass cannon.
For the dark Shadow Link fight, it works very well because you can just keep him out of range and never is able to respond to you.
I don't know if there was any set pattern of when he blocks, and it just seems to react to whatever you do.
Yeah, he does your moves verbatim. That's like in the Zelda 2. It's that same thing.
Pick him.
That's what I used Din's Fire for. You can't use Din's Fire, so let's use that continuously until I magic. Then this kind of just wailed on him until I got a few lucky hits.
I think using the Megaton hammer also works well against him.
You have to aim for his non-shield hand, so he doesn't block it with his shield.
So there's also a fun thing if you try to do like the stabbing thing. He jumps on top of your sword and then hits you, which is can take you by surprise.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I can't do that. You can't do that either. It's not fair.
Yeah.
But you beat him and you get the long shot, which is really fun to use. Excellent thing.
Yeah, it's just an upgraded hook shot.
Yeah, it's a really, really long shot.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. And then you get the whole sequence with the whirlpools. Man, fuck those whirlpools, by the way.
Yeah, that's a...
Is there a technique for those? I had no idea how to get around those.
It felt like even when you were going past, like you were doing it the wrong way, even though it probably wasn't.
Is that a game critique I heard there, Craig? Are you feeling alright?
I actually agree with that. It felt like I was forcing it.
I fell in there a couple times, but I just couldn't think of a way of not falling in, apart from just like this pushing forward and just jumping and hoping for the best. I managed it eventually, but I think that's more through luck than judgment at that point, I think.
Yeah. So you navigate your way through the dungeon to find the final boss of the dungeon. Morpha.
I didn't like this fight very much.
It's you had to keep your distance.
Once you get the hook, you spam hook shot until you get the thing out, then just hit it with a sword, and then eventually it just goes.
No, the hook shot only works sometimes.
I just spammed it until it grabbed, and then just started hitting it with a sword, and then eventually that just sort of ended. There's no second phase to it or anything like that.
That's how you do the fight.
But there's no second harder phase to it. It's just kind of like, okay, there we go, have it.
There's an interesting concept for a boss, like this little thing that controls like the gelacious water.
I've also played Sonic Adventure.
Yeah.
Bring Chaos back into this game, that'd be great. That'd be a more fun fight. But yeah, if I thought of all the fights so far, Morpher was one that I enjoyed the least so far playing the game.
It's not fun.
It was underwhelming, I'd say. It wasn't bad, it was underwhelming.
Yeah.
Given how bad the water temple was going through, I think having a decent fight would have made up for it a little bit, but no.
So you beat the boss. Princess Ruto is now the water sage, so she can't be revived anymore.
Yeah, she has to be ethereal horny instead. Yeah. Not quite the same, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Then you're back in the Lake Hylia after that.
Yeah, and this is where Chico actually makes an appearance after the temple to tell you, "Hey, good job. Here's a hint on how to get the fire arrow."
That I didn't follow.
You made it through.
I didn't get the fire arrows until way later, and I'll explain.
Oh man,
it was fine until near the end, and I'll point out when it was that I had to go back.
I saw what to do, but when I tried, I missed the window, so I had to wait a whole fucking day again to get.
You could have used the Song of Sun to make the day go thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't know if it would then fast forward past that point, so then I have to
it's
wait till the crack of dawn.
It happens just at the time where you can do it. It's almost planned that you can do it that way. I'm sure it's pretty much designed so you can do it that way with the song. But yeah, I didn't know that until way later down the game, and I had to use Din's fire for the majority of the fire puzzles, and until a point where I couldn't use it anymore. And I'll point out later on when it was that I had to say, okay, I can't do it this way anymore. What am I missing out here?
I can't do it anymore.
I know, I've hit the point where I can't just cheese it anymore. So, yeah. So, yeah, after that was fun.
Then you go to Kakariko Village, which is on fire, and you get a little cutscene there of Sheik fighting some weird force that comes out of the well in Kakariko Village. This is a pretty dramatic scene.
It is actually, yeah.
Link gets his shit rocked. So this is so you get like the song to Nocturne of Shadow, I think. The song to this is one of the few songs you actually need the song in order to get to the temple.
Yeah.
That high platform you can't get.
Yeah. But before you go to the Shadow Temple, you pretty much had to go back in time. This is if you go back to the Temple of Time.
Yeah.
You basically told that, if you put the sword back, you just go back in time for some reason.
I'll admit that this concerned me. I thought, please don't make me do this like 17, 18 times to get through every single temple going forward. It didn't, thankfully. It wasn't that prevalent, but having to go back and change, I was a bit concerned about.
if you talk to the guy in the Vimbo, he mentions some kid did this thing years ago. That gives you like a hint that you have to go back in time then.
Yeah, I got the hint.
Because technically you've already done it at this point.
But you can't crawl through the gap in the well otherwise or something. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but that was fine though. I got that, but I thought please don't make me do this continuously for every dungeon going forward. Go back, forward, and back, forward.
It
did it a handful of times, but it wasn't like annoying, so I'm fine with it. But yeah, it was a nice little. It's kind of fun going back and seeing all your old weapons that you used before again. Like the boomerang's back, yes.
So, as Craig mentioned, if you go to Kakariko Village in the windmill, there's a guy there who's very, very angrily.
He is cranking it big time.
And you are taught the song of Storms from him. He tells you that some kid played this song for him when it was 7 years ago. So you go back and do that. And so you drain the well. But this is one of those like time loops.
I was gonna say, if you don't play the song at any point, he wouldn't tell you that you didn't play the song in the windmill. So you have to play it to fulfill destiny.
Time travel.
Essentially, timey-wimey. yeah.
There's a whole Back to the Future.
It's like Time Splitters 3 all over again.
So this little dungeon there, bottom of the well, there's a surprising amount of things in the bottom of the well that you just can ignore. It's just treasure with rupees, but if you know where to go, you can just go to the.
I didn't like the well, but yeah,
you can go to the final boss.
It can be short.
As soon as I found that the item, I just pieced out.
I pieced out after that. Yeah, I got the lens of truth and thought, yeah, I'm out of here. Bye.
Oh, this fucking boss, the dead hand. I think it's
was easy.
But he's creepy though.
You let him grab you, you flinch out, and just whack him when his head pops down. It is creepy though. I'll give you that.
Yeah, his entire design is like a big pale sludge blob human.
Yeah,
with long ass neck and big ass teeth. It bites you.
Yeah, luckily, it's quite tame when you know the techniques, so I wasn't really that bothered by it. Frankly, that was fine.
This is probably the creepiest moment in this and Shadow Temple are like go way in on like the.
I still think that the Gibdal screams are the worst thing in the game. They go and then the whole thing freezes, and then it's like, no, I don't like this.
No, I think that the most annoying. What's the one that eats your shield?
Likes.
I hate them.
They also eat your armor as well. They stole my Goron clothes.
What? They can actually eat that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you can buy it. Oh shit.
Yes, that's why.
You have to beat them fast in order to get them back.
Thank God for the Switch and save states.
The idea of this was let's have enemies where you can just lose items.
I hate them. I think they're the most hated enemy in the entire game for me. I hate them.
I've got one.
Gibbs are pretty bad.
I was gonna say it might be the floor masters for me personally, but yeah.
No, those are annoying. Yeah. So what the lens of truth basically does is that it reveals like hidden doorways and passages and
traps,
stuff like that. Yeah. So you need that in order to navigate through the Shadow Temple, because
you could do it without, I'd imagine. Technically, if you knew.
Theoretically, like if you knew where everything was, you could.
Yeah.
If you're a speedrunner, you'd do it without the lens, I'd imagine.
Yeah. There's also like you get some weird like cryptic messaging when you walk around. Here lies the result of Hyrule's wars.
I don't know if there was weird world building.
There's dark stuff that's going on there.
Did you use the lens? Did you use the lens of truth for the box game in town?
Yes. If you go to Hyrule Town at night.
Yeah.
This is the only chest you can use it on this on. I thought it was like you could use this for every chest, but no, it's just this.
A bit weird.
No, that would be too kind.
If there's any chest apart from the ones in the minigame, it would make more sense rather than it being vice versa, given that you can just cheese your way to infinite money that way, more or less.
Yeah. So you go to the Shadow Temple, you get like the shoes. What do you call
them? The hover boots.
Hover boots, pretty fast here.
They hover for like 2 seconds and they fail.
And then you can put them on and drift through corners. Very fun.
Yeah, they're not really great for like a.
If you ever want to like run around the game with low traction.
Yeah, like you want ice permanently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can
is...
cross gaps with it too. Also, it helps you kind of jump over gaps that you couldn't jump over before. They're serviceable enough. They're useful in certain situations.
It becomes like another item that you need to keep switching in, like the iron bolts.
When you have to use them both at the same time and go about between them too, that's really annoying. That happens later on, I think, with the fans and stuff later on. But yeah, that was.
Oh right, the fans.
We'll get to that later on. But yeah, the Shadow Dungeon, I've not really got a whole lot to say about.
It's very straightforward, really. Other than everything, you had to use Lens of Truth in order to see where you're going.
Apart from the fan situation, and it constantly changed footwear. That was quite annoying. You first see the Floor Masters here that I mentioned like 10 minutes ago, earlier than that. I hate Floor Masters. Fuck them. They are the worst. Then you kill them, and then 3 little ones appear, and they tank your health big time. They are big punchers.
Yeah,
really hurts.
And if you wait too long, they will grow up into big formats.
Like one of them will just like fuck off to a different room.
Well, they become like 3 at that point. 3 big ones. Just one big one again.
I think all 3 of them if you don't kill them.
Jesus!
So if you really wanted to, you could just fill the room with.
I actually want to see someone try to like fill a room with as many floor masters as possible.
30 or 40 floor masters. You couldn't survive that long, I don't think. Holy shit! Yeah, you beat them, then you see the boss. I want to hear your thoughts on Bongo Bongo before I say my thoughts.
Oh, well, but it's a fun name, first of all.
Yes, I will give
great
you that.
name. I had a hard time. I got that you had to stun her, but I couldn't physically get close enough to actually hit him in the eye.
I had to use arrows to hit those 2 hands very quickly back to back. There was a very little margin to get that right. After like a second, they would just punch you.
They give you maybe 2 seconds to then get a hit in, otherwise you just resets.
And Z targeting is good, but it ain't that good, frankly, to hit 2 targets in like 2 seconds. And plus the floor's bouncing around. Even with the hover boots on, it's still, you got a little bit of give on the floor, and your targeting like breaks off sometimes, and they have to try and get the timing to hit his eye when he lunges towards you correctly, and it's rough.
I wouldn't say I had a terrible time with this boss, really, but
I
can see why it can be a problem.
It seemed really stingy on like the stun time. For some,
it's creative. I admire it. That's a very good thing to try and pull off.
It's one of those like normally when you know what to do, it's usually this one. It's like even when you knew what to do, it just felt like the game was purposely making it difficult for no reason.
It wasn't as bland as the Morpher fight before that. I thought, it's actually a bit of an interesting, unique boss to do. I'm quite happy with this. And then I saw what I had to actually do, and I thought, maybe a little bit more boring's better, I think, in this situation. There's a nice medium ground somewhere. I got it eventually, but it took me a few attempts to really get the technique nailed down.
It's a fun boss design, at least.
Totally.
Disembodied hands and there's sort of the split open neck with an eye inside it.
So a unique concept, I'll give them that much, absolutely.
After that, you meet the Shadow Temple's sage, which is Impa, who's returned.
Somehow Impa returned.
She gives you the medallion for that temple, and then it's on to the final temple to the game, and final area, the whole Gerudo section, which... It's a fairly large section of the game, I think.
Yeah, you've got the whole prison escape stealth missions, like the Metal Gear Solid again at that point. I was getting strong Metal Gear vibes.
Yeah. Did you figure out that if you use like arrows or hookshot, you can knock out guards?
Yeah,
only
knocked out with the arrow. Yeah, when it was kill them dead, firing an arrow at them, it knocks them out though. That's fine.
Yeah.
Those Gerudo guards, they don't fuck around.
No.
How's game because they don't even need to kill you. It's like if they hit you like
3 strikes and you're back in jail.
For some reason, it's like
do not pass
so good. Let me fight.
Gone. Yeah,
let me fight.
Then you have to do that again and again and again for the 4 or 5 you have to rescue. That was
got all these hearts, but it's like it doesn't mean shit here.
Yeah, that was infuriating.
So. So the whole reason you're at the fortress is that you have to rescue these carpenters. So here's the fun little thing I found out in the German version. In the
hidden German law.
In the English version, they're called like Ichiro, Jotaro, like basically their Japanese names.
Yeah.
In the German version, they are called John, Paul, George, and Ringo.
Jesus Christ!
Those names sound familiar to me. I love the Beach Boys.
No, you're the carpenters.
Terrible, John. We've been captured by.
Let's call after the carpenters. That'd be a better reference. No, let's call.
No one knows who's in the carpenters. What are you talking about?
Who knows who Ringo is?
I won't have this Ringo rage. Sorry. Man did a lot of hard work on Thomas the Tank.
Yeah. Garingo Village.
So you rescue the carpenters, and this mini-boss that you fought against a couple of times decides that, hey, you're a cool kid. Here, you can be a honorary Gerudo and hang about.
You beat the shit out of all of them, so they just say, "Oh, I'll bring you on board." What an absolute alpha move from Link that was. Phenomenal. I will beat you up until you let me join your gang. Brilliant. Fantastic.
So
that's how that works, right?
There's a few side things you could do here. There's this whole like horseback archery game you could do.
I did none of it.
In the back. So there's this place called the Gerudo training grounds, which is like an entire separate.
It's just up the ramp,
dungeon.
is it, on the top part of the map that I just chose to not look at any point?
So that's the archery arena.
Oh, I didn't go there either. I missed all of this stuff.
So right next to like the entrance, not on the way up there, there's like a grating that if you talk to the Gerudo next to it, she will let you in. This is an entire dungeon, and what you get from beating that little dungeon is the ice arrow, which is completely optional and is completely useless.
I was going to say, is it actually worth getting that at any point? But that
no, it's not. You don't need it at all.
Thank God.
And it's one of the more annoying. It's a dungeon that's entirely it's entirely about finding keys.
Oh, my favorite part of the dungeon is locating keys.
And they hide those keys absolutely everywhere. It's infuriating.
And all that for an arrow that doesn't really have any real purpose in the game.
On my second playthrough, I completely ignored that section.
Yeah, fuck that noise.
Desert.
The deserts,
yeah,
those little green things in the
I
desert.
had no problem with it, Kyle.
Those little green things are a fucking menace, and I hate them.
The levers.
Yeah, they just keep appearing, and they're just so annoying.
There's a section there where you have to follow, like...
I enjoyed the pole chase. That was quite fun.
Yeah. It basically leads you through the desert and to the Spirit Temple. This is also where... Did you find the giant fairy fountain here?
When I came back, I did.
Yeah, here you get like this shield thing. That is handy in some situations. But, yeah.
Yeah, it's not great, but yeah.
Not real needed.
So you come here for like 10 minutes, then you go back, because you can't do anything in the Spirit Temple as your current form.
Yeah, this is where they... So, at this point, you have to go back. You are taught the song to teleport there, so you go back in time and teleport there as a young Link. I kind of like the idea of this, of having like the same dungeon, but two halves of it.
I made note of that. You aren't doing the same part of the dungeon as young Link, so it's better. But having like two distinct parts with the same theme and doing different mechanics with different ages, that was quite a cool concept actually. I wish they'd done more stuff like that. That would have been quite cool.
Yeah, and you basically also get two treasures from it too.
Oh yeah, the knuckles and the gauntlets.
So as young Link, you are told by Gerudo there called Naburo, I think.
Yeah.
So all the sages in this game are named after towns in Zelda 2, but I guess you guys, since you haven't played that, you wouldn't get the
I played Zelda 2 a little bit back in the day. I've not played a whole lot of it. I don't remember the town names or anything like that.
You wouldn't fucking get it.
If you're a Zelda lore enthusiast like me.
Naburo is like, she's like the second in command of the Gerudos, especially behind Ganondorf. And she asks you, like, hey, are you working for Ganondorf? You can either, like, be like...
I love Ganondorf, let's go.
What's it to you, basically? Either way, she likes your style and tells you to, like, go into this little hole and find the treasure.
Squeezing this whole child, it's completely safe, I promise. There's, like, fucking spinning death traps in there waiting for you.
So this is at the end of this little dungeon here, you meet up with Iron Knuckle, with his big armor bastard.
Oh, a few things before that actually. There was a thing you did to throw a boomerang, like I get to like on like a switch behind like a metal grate fence that came down. I couldn't hit that move for about 5 minutes straight. I could not get the angle right at all.
Oh, I hit it with an arrow like from.
But it was like behind the
No,
grate.
I mean the what you use as a kid.
The
boomerang.
Oh, could you hit him with that?
Well, I was like right on the edge of the platform and I could hit it, so that's why I assumed you had
Also,
to.
you have to use bomb chews here to like clear like a crack in like a wall. I cannot aim those things at all. I use like 5 to try and hit that thing.
Regular bomb and it worked.
Oh,
yeah, you can time it with the regular bomb.
It gives you bomb shoes there. I don't know how to use them. Yeah, but the bomb shoes are just like there's no controlling bomb shoes. They just go off on their own volition.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was. But then the Iron Knuckles turn up, and they're kind of easy. The Iron Knuckles.
You had to basically bait and switch them.
You get one hit in, then they'll swing, miss it, go back in, get one hit, then their armor falls off. Then you can just whack them until they die at that point.
Yeah. Or you can also just stay at a distance and then throw bomb shoes at them. That's also fun.
I can't aim those things, so probably not a good idea for me.
I mean, if you just Z-target them, you just aim straight for them. So.
Yes, that's fair enough. But yeah, I just kind of went for the old hit and run approach.
Yeah. So you get the gauntlet, which you can't use.
Our owl friend also comes back at this point.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him in a long, long time. I think it's the last time we even see him actually in this game. It's at this point.
Yeah, it's just hello and goodbye.
He's been gone for a bit. I remember I am here. I have to go now. Bye bye.
Yeah. Then you witness a scene of 2 witches. Basically,
this is brutal.
This seems like Noboru is sent to the Shadow Realm as well.
Yeah, she gets it rough in this game. Like honestly, like it's when you get to the future part, it's even worse. But yeah, she gets sucked into the sand, which is horrible. But you got gauntlets though that you can't use, so you're good.
Yeah,
the time warp
again.
Yeah, you go back to the spirit temple as an adult, and with your newfangled gauntlets, you can move the big block that was gating your progress.
He's an absolute unit now.
Yeah, you make your way through This is where you get the mirror shield.
I like this. This is a fun mechanic. I like the light shield quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a fun little puzzle.
Deflecting like enemy attacks and stuff, and light beams to hit certain targets. I thought that was quite well done. It even felt quite good with the targeting system to actually get it aimed right. It could have felt a lot worse than it did, but it actually was really well done. So yeah, I think it's actually one of the better dungeons. Actually, it felt less labyrinthian than the other ones. I think
this was one of the few. But this was one of the few times that I actually got stuck for a bit.
Really?
Because I thought that there was like the hands. I didn't realize you could actually go on them for a little bit. That had to play like the song.
And there was the Triforce symbol.
Yeah,
symbol mean play a song. That's why I created.
But I did realize that I could actually reach that hand a lot earlier than.
If you use the hover boats, it's a lot easier.
Yeah,
I use the boots to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you do like a little mirror puzzle with this actually entire section. This is pretty short actually because you've already done half of the temple.
That's why it's good for it's short and to the point. It's not constantly it doesn't outstay its welcome at that point.
Having it's like 2 different temples, like one as a child, one as an adult.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. That's quite a nice way of doing it. That way,
you get to like reuse some of the old items again.
Yeah, it feels less stale that way. I'm quite fond of that.
So you use the mirror shield to melt the big statue's face. I'm not sure how you're supposed to know how to do that.
I just sort of I sort of half guessed because you lie and it's. Oh, I aim at the face and it started dissolving. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was doing the same thing. I was just like trying to do the eyes or something like anything, and then like, wait, what's happening? I didn't realize.
I found that by accident as well, but it made sense, I guess. So I'm fine with it.
Then you find another Iron Knuckle who makes their entrance by grabbing for the weapon, realizing they have no weapon, and just snapping their fingers like get the big. That is a kind of funny. Little moment here because the music just suddenly just cuts out right before the fight happens.
Yeah,
it was like, that's funny.
Another one though, easily beaten.
Yeah, but then there's a big reveal when the armor collapses and turns out Noboru was inside there all
Yeah,
along.
that's fucked up. She's been in that thing for like 7 years probably, and like possessed by these witches. That's fucked up.
Yeah. And then she gets banished again
I
by
know.
the two witches.
It's cruel. It's honestly like it was actually really mean to watch. Like, oh, that's just fucking awful. Why
All I
do
hear
that
about
to
this
her?
Ganon fella.
He's not very nice.
I swear.
These two are even worse than Ganon are.
Yeah, this is Kume and Kotake, the two witches.
I think this was my favorite boss battle in the entire game.
I'm going to say the same thing. I love the mechanics here.
This is a fun little puzzle battle where you had to absorb the...
Yeah.
You had to absorb each element and shoot it back at the other witch. And
then phase 2 you have to absorb 3 of the exact same attack and avoid the one that doesn't match what you're trying to absorb, and then launch it. That's really, really fun mechanic. It plays into what you've just received. It's got 2 distinct phases that are both quite different from each other, but same mechanical wise. I really enjoyed that. Really good fight. Might be my favourite in the entire game.
She sort of both of them merges into one big being.
One sexy witch. Yeah, it was. I really like that fight. I think it is my favorite in the game. Looking at it, I definitely think it is.
It's pretty high up there, I would say.
Between that and Phantom Ganon, yeah.
Yeah. So you defeat them. They have a little comedic scene there where they both die and ascend to heaven.
They both die.
They have a bit of a shouting match before they get there.
Yeah.
No, your fault.
For no reason, I guess they live the life without sin, so they get to go to heaven, I guess.
I don't think you can really show them going to hell in a Nintendo game. I don't think that really flies very well.
There's just a big hand that drags them down.
The Wall Master comes and drags them down. But yeah, that was fun, and that's still almost done with the stages at that point.
You meet Naburo again, who's now the Spirit Temple Sage. She starts hitting on Link at some point. It was like, oh, if I knew that you'd grow to be so handsome.
Again, recurring theme with Link being a stud muffin, apparently.
Yeah.
He's an adult this time.
For all these sages, one for every day of the week.
He's an adult here, so it's fine now. That's okay. That's the main thing. I can deal with that.
So you basically got all the sages' power now, so you can now go to Ganon's castle.
Yeah, where they form like a rainbow bridge across the gap to get into the castle.
But first you had to go to the Temple of Time.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, this is stupid, this.
when Sheikah has shown up all over the game, and they shown to be rather competent, like in their own right, able to hold their own. And then it's the moment Sheikah reveals that it's actually Princess Zelda, she immediately gets kidnapped.
Like, why would you let your guard down when you're not even done the actual... You're not finished yet. You're doing so well. You could have just kept your disguise up and you wouldn't have noticed it until you were done beating him. But no. Plot.
You also get Light Arrow here, which you need to defeat.
I never used Light Arrow or anything apart from where it had to be. Is it actually like useful in combat apart from just like...
I think it has an effect.
Stuns the bosses. Or the Ganon, basically.
Oh yeah, apart from
more bosses.
Yeah.
Huh. I think if you use the Light Arrow, you actually get like guaranteed 50 rupees every time you defeat the boss.
I don't know if it has any...
defeat that enemy, sorry.
I don't know if it has does any extra damage or anything like that, other than just...
unsure, probably. It uses up a lot of magic. There's a area in the Fire Mountain where there's also a fairy there that gives you, I think, double magic.
Yes, I got that. I have to get the gauntlets, the gold gauntlets first, and then you can get the magic thing. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, that's later on. I'm thinking. Yeah, I got that. I got the magic thing prior to that, so I got my mixed up there. Yeah, it's fair enough. Yeah.
So this entire final dungeon is basically like.
Did we explain why Ganondorf wants Zelda in the first place and what her about the whole the Triforce powers?
Oh yes, so it turns out the Triforce, when Ganondorf touched it, it split up into 3 parts, and turns out Zelda has the Triforce of Wisdom.
Yeah, it like links on to what your strongest trait is if you aren't pure of heart. So he got the power Triforce piece because he's a powerful lad. Zelda gets wisdom and Link gets courage because he's a courageous young boy. So Ganondorf needs all three of them to really get the full power out of the Triforce. So he has to capture Zelda and also defeat Link to get the full power. So I'm not sure why I didn't just kidnap them both in the Temple of Time rather than just kidnapping Zelda, but...
that wouldn't be a very fun video game.
Oh, that's why. Never mind. That was Ganondorf's reason, wasn't it? We have another hour of gameplay, Link. I'll leave you for now. I'll see you later.
How do you feel about this Ganon's Tower segment?
I really like it.
Dungeons?
I like the full backstory of the stuff.
I like having like a series of like
apart from
distinctive...
the ice one, I didn't like that because that's just I hate it.
I was going to say, I think a sequence of distinctive challenge rooms that link into what they were based off of. I find that far better than having a massive sprawling dungeon.
No, you can sort of do them in any order as well, because they're all accessible.
Yeah, and you can't get lost to get in there. It's just kind of simple like challenge map sort of things. And yeah, apart from the ice one, I didn't enjoy. That was
You also get one for like the Light Temple. So, which wasn't really a thing in the actual game, but you get a little section there for the light medallion. Yeah,
no, this is the point where I had to get the fire torch because I didn't get it. So there's that point. They have to light a torch to like reveal like hidden platforms.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that with Din's fire. I tried like hookshotting to the torch, then hookshotting back to the platform, and then doing it, but I just couldn't make it in time. And I thought, well, am I doing something wrong here?
I don't know. I'd have to try it again without see if it's like if it still be doable.
I looked at a guide and thought it said use fire arrows, and I thought there's fire arrows.
Fire arrows.
Yeah, I was like, I missed that from all the way back there. So I had to then leave the Ganon's castle, go back to the Hyrulean Lake Hylia, get the fire arrows, then go back into the Ganon's castle again and do the remainder of that dungeon. It was a nice 15-minute diversion there. Not my idea of a good time.
So, also in here, you can also find, like, the gold gauntlets, as I mentioned. And if you go outside, near the Gallows Tower, there's also another fairy fountain there that you can...
Invaluable half-damage thing that you can get.
Yeah, at the end of the game as well. Yeah, it's a bit late.
They put that in there, just think, if you're really struggling with the last boss, just go here, then you get some more hits.
At that point. I mean, unless you've got, like, no hearts at all that you've stockpiled.
With Eric's free heart run.
You get, like, a heart per dungeon that you beat, so you've got at least, like, 10 by that point anyway, so...
Yeah,
it's really not an issue. There was one room where it was like fans. You had to like collect like the rupees in the room with the 4 fans blowing back and forward.
Yes, I had an easier time with this one than the one in the.
I did not. When you fall down the pit, all 5 of the rupees respawn. It's like, come on, man. If they didn't respawn, I could deal with it. But the fact that they all just they reset to where they were previously, that's just fucking mean. I know. I guess it's Ganon's castle. It has to be mean because that's the whole point. It wants you to not to get it done properly. So I guess that's kind of by design. But yeah, I didn't enjoy that.
Yeah, it was a rough time.
Apart from that, they're all fine though. I like the rooms. Apart from the ice room and that room with the fans, they're all pretty fun actually. I thought.
Yeah, you had to go for them to shoot this big seed thing with a light arrow.
I like the illusion one where it's like you can't see it, then you put on the lens. There's actually a secret room beyond the room.
That's a fun little trick.
Yeah, that was quite neat. I was like, what, have I missed something? Have I glitched the game out somehow? And they put on the lens. There's a hidden door through here. Very nice. Very clever.
So yeah, that unlocks like the central pillar of the dungeon. That basically starts like a little gauntlet of enemies.
My favourite enemies.
You want to do some combat? Do you?
Alphos and Stelphos. Yay.
So the thing I can say here at least that if you defeat these enemies, they actually stay dead if you return to those. If you like backtrack and such.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. To be fair, that's good. That's
because one of the times I fought Ganondorf, I actually ran out of magic. So I had to I had to reset the game, and then when I played through that part again, I was like, I don't have to.
I love it when boss battles like become unbeatable in arbitrary ways. So you have to
backtrack to resource gather and then go back into it again. There's that room with like 17,000 pots where you can try and harvest things out of them. That's quite neat.
So did you guys at that point hit like a game over? Did you lose like life and such?
Probably. I don't remember it. Like,
don't remember
happened.
specifically. I think I lost to Bongo a couple of times.
I think I just went to save point. Or what do you call it?
Oh yeah, you cheated.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Well, I didn't. I tried not to use save states. I didn't like reset that often. Apart
It's
from
part of the Switch.
Let's do something like long that I had to do again.
I want to play it like I would have had to have done in '98.
Like a shitty CRT TV.
Yeah, I need to get one of those as well.
Turn scan lines and stuff on for the full effect. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't die that. I died a couple times. Nothing too. I had enough hearts at that point to survive most things, and I had like fairies I had in bottles I could use to sustain myself, so it wasn't terrible.
Yeah. I think it happened a lot more like in the early game when you haven't got as much reach.
Oh,
Once you get to a certain point, you can sort of, even if you don't know what you do, you just survive so many hits.
You can buff your way through things at a certain point, yeah.
So you stand face to face with Ganondorf at last. That's one thing I actually had mentioned regarding cutscenes. They actually do some little camera tricks here and there where they actually use like fake dolly zoom effects.
He's doing that kind of cliche villain organ playing thing going on.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man.
Playing the music the whole time.
I'm not a bad guy. You're playing an organ. You're a bad guy.
The camera does it like perspective thing where it zooms in, but the background zooms back and such. It's actually kind of neat.
Oh yeah, this game is cinematic as all hell. Yeah, imagine going from
it's no Dutch angle.
Going from like Ocarina, from Link to the Past to this. It's a massive scale up in terms of how well they can like use the game's graphics and like visual storytelling to actually get the plot across and kind of emphasize certain things. This guy's bad. Look at the evil like dolly zooms and dramatic flare ups in the music.
And then you start the boss battle. This is basically like a take on the Phantom Ganon battle where you have to play energy tennis.
High stakes ping pong, yeah.
But a bit of an added challenge of you after you actually hit them with the magic, you had to also hit them with the light arrow, which can be finicky because of the aiming.
I did enjoy the fight, kind of the throwback to Phantom Ganon. I wish that fight was a little bit shorter than I thought it would be. I didn't think there would be a next phase to it. I thought that was it, and I thought, oh, that's quite. All right, fair enough. But yeah, I enjoyed the fight though for what it was worth.
Yeah.
Didn't really get the heart pumping or anything at that point, but yeah, it was quite good.
Yeah. So Zelda is released, and you have basically to escape the tower because it starts collapsing.
I love me a Metroid-esque escape number. I love it.
Why is it so many from this time has that?
I don't know. It's just a standard trope, I guess.
Yeah, I was hearing the Metroid escape
really
in my head from Super Metroid.
You have to be really close to actually get there to move.
Then you have that fucking double Stalfos fight when they kidnap Zelda going down. That was a pain in the arse. I didn't like that. Was a nuisance. And there's that whole if they don't kill both at the same time, one will respawn, and I'm on the clock. And it's like, come on, man, that was worse than the actual Ganondorf fight.
Also, right before you almost out, there's a goddamn re-dead on the fucking bridge.
Oh, someone at Nintendo was having a fucking laugh at that.
I just bypassed that. I was like, I'm not getting involved in your shenanigans. Fuck you.
For some reason, that I managed to avoid every single re-dead in the game, but that one got me.
I didn't get that. I avoided all of them in my game, but yeah, that one was just there just to be annoying. I'm pretty sure. It's like, remember us? We're back in escape form.
You escape the castle. You get this little cutscene of the entire thing collapsing like a deck of cards.
Yeah, it doesn't look great on the N64. I've got to admit,
it worked with what they had.
Yeah, it's a bit jank, but resource management. Yeah, it looked like a place collapsing, so I guess it served its purpose. So
you think you're in the clear, but then Link suddenly hears some noises from the ruins and starts to investigate. And lo and behold, Ganondorf just pops up and starts transforming. And this transformation scene is pretty fucking great.
It's pretty cool, yeah, I have to admit.
His eyes are glowing and it suddenly starts growing this little nubbins and horns and lightning strikes, and it's all like in shadow. It looks pretty. This is like a final boss.
Yeah, this is Ganon, alright. Ganondorf's gone, Ganon's here. Long live Ganon. Yeah.
For the first part of the fight, you don't have your Master Sword, which can be...
What are your guys' thoughts on this last fight?
I like the idea. It was just too long.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Like,
once you get the technique,
it doesn't need to be. Could it not?
Let's just shoot him in the head, then.
I mean, because it's the last fight. I know it has to be hard, but I just felt like come on now.
really
Please, I
hard,
want to be
like-
finished.
It was just shoot him in the head, knock his tail with. I use the hammer to hit his tail on my side, and then just keep doing that.
The thing is, he knocked away my master sword, but I still had my big girl sword, so I hit him inside instead.
Don't worry, I brought my own.
I'm not using my plot sword, so it's fine. But yeah, I just hit him in the head, hit tail, hit head, hit tail, and just do that again and again until he croaks it. It's not really. It was quite underwhelming. I won't lie.
Yeah. So at some point you get access to the master sword again. You continue for a little bit, and then you are tasked with delivering the coup de grace, which is a pretty cool scene.
I missed his head
Slash the fuck out of him.
Just goes hilt in with the sword. Just straight into
He's
the
taking no
forehead.
chances there. He's going, yeah, I'm going to make sure he's dead this time.
At which point the sages get enough power to banish Ganon to the sacred realm.
And he gets the whole "I'll get you next time"
we need
gadget
sequels,
thing, and
damn
then
it.
he goes away.
Because at the time of this game's release, this was in the sort of like timeline. This was the earliest game, because this was the first time Ganondorf turned into Ganon, basically.
Oh, right enough. Yeah.
Because the entire plot of this game is basically, as I mentioned earlier in the intro to A Link to the Past, if you let that run, the plot they described there is basically the plot for this game. So yeah,
Like Ganon's origin story.
yeah. At this,
That's why it's all like pig-like in Link to the Past.
So yeah, the ending starts playing. We have like a tearful farewell with Zelda. I'm not sure why they suddenly can't stop being around each other anymore, because
I don't like you, Link. I don't want to see you anymore.
Your business comrades, Our work is
she
concluded.
sends Link back in time again so he can have a childhood.
Part of me was quite sad that he couldn't stay as adult Link, but then I thought about it and thought he's had 7 years of his life stolen from him, essentially, by being asleep in the Temple of Time, so him going back to being a child again does make kind of logical sense, so I can let him live with that.
He needs to go back in time so he can do Majora's Mask.
He has to go through puberty. You can't just skip it. We all went through it. You can't just up to the good bit. That's not how it works.
No, he's like Peter Pan.
Oh god.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna fuck Navi. Oh no.
So we
Go back in time to your fish wife.
Oh
oh no! Take me back.
Well, they admit yet in that timeline. It's fine.
So we have this entire credit sequence with this fun little dance party with all the NPCs.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. Everyone is having a good time except Mido and King Soros off in the sides. Not doing anything.
My legs won't take my weight, so I can't dance.
And Mido, nobody likes Mido.
Nah,
so.
fuck it.
So, yeah, and then we see like the sages on top of the mountain, just looking over the skyline.
That was all us.
Yeah. We see we see the sword back, Master Sword back on the pedestal. Navi fucks up for some reason. She just decides, okay, I'm done here. Bye.
All the players hate me. I'll do the wise thing and piss off for a bit.
Yeah. We'll get to that in Majora's Mask. If we ever do that game.
That'll be a challenge.
So.
Oh, thank you.
So the game fades out, and then if you wait a little bit longer, you have a brief little scene with Zelda and Link meeting up in the courtyard again.
I like this ending. There's no words spoken. Just it's almost like they know, but they don't really know at the same time. There's that sort of familiarity to it. And then you can't really do it. The game just sits there in sepia tone forever. There's no like back to menu situation.
So there's a little Easter egg here, which I was not aware of when I finished the game. I was like, it's finished the game, I let it sit, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something else. And suddenly some random notes started playing. I was like, wait, what the hell was that? It turns out the Scarecrow song you recorded plays wait a bit at the ending.
My Konami Code song plays. Brilliant. Superb. But yeah, I like the ending. I love when the old game used to just have the sit on the ending screen and you have to like reset the game to go back. Not many games do that these days for obvious reasons.
They basically like, hey, you can take a picture of this and send it to Nintendo Power, and they
prove that you win the prize.
Yeah.
You're the first person to finish this 2.5
No,
million
it's a
selling
really
game.
good ending. I was happy with that. It was a nice sweet note to end on, I thought.
Yeah, and that's basically. We spent north of 2 hours just explaining the entire game bit for it, but let's talk a little bit. How do you all feel about what you played?
Again, given that I've been playing a lot of Zelda recently, that's not Ocarina of Time. I'm trying really hard not to compare it to Tears of the Kingdom, because it's not fair on Ocarina of Time, because it's 25 years gap, and gaming mechanics and things that you can and can't do have changed a lot since then. But I think if I think of me playing this game if I was 8 years old back in 1998 for the first time on an N64 and an old CRT, I've been blown away by it. Frankly, I don't think there's many games.
Yeah. It was quite
on the 64, especially, there wasn't a whole lot of like grand scales. Even Mario 64 hasn't really got much of a plot in the grand scheme of things. To be honest, it's got very.
What are you talking about? You want the cake?
He wants the cake. So I must do the same boss battle at the end 3 times to get the cake. Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely. Looking back at how it would have been back when it came out, I understand why it was so highly appraised as it was. Same with Metal Gear Solid, when we talked about that last episode as well, how I can see how seeing it through a fresh set of eyes back when it came out, just how revolutionary it would have been. Do I think that time has been kind to it? Kind of?
It's still playable.
It holds up. It holds up very well.
I think it holds up more than Metal Gear Solid did.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, wow.
No, I'd agree with that, actually.
Lies and slander.
Yeah, there's a few things that are a bit fiddly, but that's just kind of how. That's because gaming kind of the rules have changed over the years as to what you can and can't do, and I think we're less into the cryptic stuff these days.
Switch Pro controller.
But even then, I think
well.
I think the more cryptic kind of labyrinthian style stuff sort of gone now. It's more kind of like checkpoints and kind of arrows and telling you where to go now. So having to go back to like an older way of playing these kind of games, it's a bit jarring. But again, that's just because the way that gaming work has changed. I mean, the plot's still really good, the music's still phenomenal, the controls, all the camera controls and stuff for a game that came out in 1998 are really good still. Because I've played a lot of games from that era where the camera is just fucking dog shit.
You don't really think about it much, do you, when you're playing this game? Because it seems to be on point.
Banjo-Kazooie came out in the same year, and that control was a fucking dog, frankly, to play that the controls and the camera in that game. But in Zelda, it's completely fine.
Yeah.
So yeah,
because you don't have camera control. It does things automatically.
Yeah, I had a good time with it. I mean, I had to use a walkthrough for large chunks of the dungeons because I didn't really. I had no patience for it, but that's more of a me issue though. I'm a low patience kind of guy, so I'm not gonna put that against it because that's more of a me fault.
So I found that I had a pretty unique problem with this game because I didn't take any notes for this game because I figured out pretty fast that I just remember everything in this game already because I remember playing it back in the day. I've seen so many videos of Let's Plays of this game. So I just remember every single thing.
It's one of these
as I played it.
if you know type games. If
you
don't know, it's hard to really understand.
All of Young Link I knew, and I basically knew what to do as an adult, but I had to look up a couple of things because I couldn't be bothered going into every room.
I can see why it would be better on the second playthrough, because you understand where all the things are hidden. But I think on the first playthrough I had a little bit of difficulty. But I imagine if I went back to it at some point, which I might go back to it at some point in the future, who knows. Yeah. But if I did, I imagine I'd have a better time with it the second time of asking, knowing what I know now. I would play the 3DS
version if I went back.
That could be good. I imagine that's got a lot more kind of modernized controls, and I'm sure there's less inventory management and stuff like that, and less, it's having to remember all the songs. I go back to the menu, check what the song was, then go back into the ocarina and play the song.
I just had to have at one point. I just had a web page of all the songs, so I didn't have to remember.
I did that as well. Yeah, I had a page of all the songs, and the right hand side there's all the notes to play, rather than go back to the menu and check the menus constantly. So, but again, that's just something that's improved with age. But I imagine you couldn't really do much with that apart from now, to be honest. No. You'd have a shortcut to that in a modern game with modern controls and stuff. But I think they did what they could do with what they had to work with at the time. So, yeah, if I was to try and give it a contemporary out of 10 score, If I was doing it as me now, I'd be giving it like an 8.5.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Given the game that old, a 3D game that old could be a whole lot worse and aged like absolute milk.
The things that knock it back are things that you'll be able to do now.
It's just the evolution of gaming's against it, but that's not really the game's fault, to be honest. I wouldn't say the game's it's not really the game's fault. It's an 8.5. It's more to do with the fact that they haven't got a time machine and they can't tell what's going to be like a better way of doing it going forward. And the Zelda games, I think, in the future do take that concept and do improve on it down the line. So I think that's fair.
Yeah. This is a very influential game for.
It's got to work so that Breath of the Wild can run.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I have I have like a personal top 5 of like Zelda games, and I wouldn't really put Ocarina on there, but I recognize that this is a very good and influential game. So yeah, I can see why. I mean, I lived through it, so I knew what it was like.
You're lucky in the sense that you actually got to experience it as it was when it came out, more or less. Whereas I've jumped the party way late, and I've sort of missed the most of the hype around it because time has been cruel to a lot of these older games.
Like the newer games before.
There's not many 3D games that still hold up like as they were when they came out. Metal Gear Solid came out and went in the same kind of year, and that game's not aged brilliantly either, I think. I know Johan doesn't agree with me on that one, but he's wrong, frankly.
I mean, I still like playing it.
Oh yeah, but what I'm saying is it's not the same impact now as it would have been playing it back in the day. Definitely age has aged it, because, there's not many 3D games that are properly timeless. No. A lot of 2D games can be timeless.
Tetris.
Oh, 3D.
Oh, it's time for Tetris.
But 2D games can be timeless. Like if I was playing like Mario World, that feels the same now as it did back then, because it's perfect in terms of like the actual platforming stuff. Early 3D games, less so. So I can't think of any early 3D games.
It was the wild west of game development. Everyone had different ideas. No one was really sure which one would work.
Yeah, iconic 3D games like GoldenEye and stuff, even those haven't aged very well either, and they were critically acclaimed when they came out as well. It's just evolution, unfortunately. But
yeah, it's saying that, given the era this was released, it's still remarkable that you can still play through it as easily as we can.
If it were on PS1, it would be equally impressive. If that's on the N64 and not a PlayStation, what they managed to pull off with an N64 cartridge, that's really impressive.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole lot of content there and a whole lot of depth to it and a lot of nice looking stuff going on. And the fact they put it on a little cartridge like that, which couldn't really hold much compared to like the PlayStation discs could, it's hard not to be impressed by that.
Yes. Anyway, what about you, Johan? How do you feel about
it's a good game. It holds up. If I'm giving it modern standards, I'm giving it a 7.5 still. 8.
7.5? Oh, wow.
I'd have gone.
It's gone down.
My man's getting death threats sent to him after this.
It's a good game. It's aged a little bit, but I mean, it's not a 10, it's not a 9, it's a 7.5 or an 8. Maybe an 8.5, I don't fucking know.
You were getting bomb flowers in the post.
Yeah.
So somebody pushing the score up.
How do you feel, Craig? First time playing this game.
I would have, similar. I was going 8.5, maybe 9.
Yeah.
In terms of, an actual score. I didn't have maybe it's because I've not played any of the newer Zelda games. I actually had quite a good time, like working on what to do.
You've not really got like a modern comparison, do you?
Like gone back and thought, oh no, all these quality of life changes they're not here.
I would recommend playing the Switch games to you guys if you haven't played them already. They are definitely, you can see where a lot of the DNA has came from with the Ocarina of Time in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So if you enjoy this game, I would recommend definitely giving the newer games a shot. Absolutely. Given I put like 250 hours across both of them over the last couple of years, then yeah, it's a pretty high praise from me.
Yeah, I want to pick up Tears of the Kingdom sooner rather than later. I don't.
It will consume like 2 months of your life straight, so bear that in mind. We've got episodes to film, so.
So yeah, but speaking of that, let's talk a little bit what we're doing next.
We mulled this over for quite some time. We had settled on a game, and then we changed our mind literally yesterday about this one.
Yeah,
we planned to play a Gex game to kind of celebrate the somehow the remaster of that trilogy coming out, somehow miraculously.
So somehow the dead speak.
Yeah. We saw Craig playing some Gex 2 on Discord and realized that this is going to be a difficult one to sit through. It's just not going to be fun in the slightest. So we had a last minute U-turn and thought, what else can we do that's sort of relevant? And then we realized that they're re-releasing the Arkham trilogy on the Switch at some point next month.
Yes.
So, and given that we've done Arkham Asylum a few months back, that leads us to Arkham City, the sequel. So, another highly appraised game. So, a bit newer than 1998. So we get to do something a bit more contemporary this time. So, we've got that to look forward to. More Batman. Love it.
No, Kyle wants us to play like a stinker at some point.
So we're playing. We're playing Batman on the Super Nintendo, the animated series.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, of course. We're going to play Batman on NES. Or Batman and Robin on the PlayStation 1.
That episode would never be released.
No, that's not getting anywhere. But yeah, so Arkham City is next in our pipeline, so we've got that to look forward to. Finally, a good game. Finally, God.
Not now who's getting death threats.
Oh, well, bring it. I'm fine with it. That's fine. Batman's got my back. He always does.
Yeah. So see us in like however long
3 to 6 months. I mean, to be fair, Arkham City shouldn't take us that long to complete. But
we're doing 100% runs. We're doing all the collectibles.
No. You mean
like
you're doing that? We'll say we're doing that, then let's let you do it by yourself. We'll just say, we just beat the plot, and then let you talk about the collectibles, Riddler trophies in detail for 3 hours.
Exactly.
Collectibles both in game.
Each trophy, one at a time, explained in minute detail, like a Game Facts walkthrough. I look forward to it.
Open door. Walk
like
2
I'm
steps.
playing along with Johan right at my side.
Yeah, walk 6 paces, then turn left for 45 degrees, and then walk 6 paces to the left.
Oh, Batman. His parents died,
It's like playing Myst at that point, isn't it?
Sucks.
So yeah, that would be probably a month and a half down the line. Probably push comes to shove.
And then it'll be Halloween shit.
Until other games get in our way like they always do. We have lives. I play other games apart from these episodes sometimes that I like to enjoy. So,
You mean the whole of November you weren't playing Shadow the Hedgehog?
No, well, that's the exception. I love Shadow the Hedgehog. That's a happy exception for me. But, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, then I hope everyone sticks around for that episode when they come down.
No, I'm out.
I will survive somehow. I think we'll be okay.
Anyways, goodbye, listeners.
Boy. He wants to do the
Audacity is now picking up my ass voice according to Davison.
Audacity.
Ass.
Oh no, it's Audacity. It's in the fucking name.
Yeah. Okay, we all recording?
The audacity you have.
Audacity.
Okay.
I'll do the clap. You do the clap. I'll let you take the.
Of my shit microphone will pick it
up. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, wow, it actually worked.
All over the place, but that's fine. I've got a nice big spike on my waveform, so I know it works.
Yes.
I've got 3 spikes because I did it 3 times.
Wait, what?
Well, you're like Goro, are you?
Okay, how is that supposed to help me syncing things
Okay,
up?
do it again then.
Oh no!
Every time you do this.
I thought when I clapped it would actually register, but I didn't, so...
So you just did it again?
Okay.
Yes.
Alright, fine, we'll do it one more time. God, put this in at the end, this is great. 3, 2, 1...
There we go, there's a spike.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay.
How can 4 men be so uncoordinated?
Eric's like, which clap is it?
I clap through 3 different timelines at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
I'll start the intro.